This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey you guys, welcome into the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Haley Spittler with you here at 12:30, and I'll be with you all the way until 2:30 on this Friday afternoon. And then Sam Kramer will take over and get you guys all the way till 3:30. It is 25 degrees out, which feels a little bit warmer than yesterday. There is a pretty strong wind right now in the area. Let me just pull up kind of our satellite and radar for today. Not expecting any snow. You can see some kind of in that Minneapolis, La Crosse area. There is a chance, though, for some snow. It sounds like the overnight hours, Saturday into Sunday. Nothing like the snowstorm that we saw last Saturday, though. If you're just joining us in from Wisconsin weather experts, thanks for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. If you've never tuned in before, we monitor these things behind me. They are called feeds, and we bring you news live in the moment as it happens. That's including here in Milwaukee and southeastern Wisconsin, but really it's around the country and even around the globe. We just take you where the news is so that you can be informed with us. And if you are a weather fan, I do want to just tease ahead. Stephanie will be joining us later on in the Wisconsin Live Desk. Get you your weekend forecast, get you all prepared for what it's going to look like outdoors. But I do want to do kind of a quick roundup here of what's currently on the feeds this Friday afternoon. We'll start with this camera that is currently showing President Trump as well as the First Lady right next to him. Now they are in the stands watching the FIFA World Cup draw. That is kind of figuring out what countries are going to play in the tournament as well as what countries the U.S. will play. So I do want to just start off, though, with a little bit of news as far as President Trump in FIFA. Earlier this morning, he was awarded the very first FIFA Peace Prize. This is all happening here at the Kennedy Center in D.C. This happened during the World Cup draw. So the FIFA president gave him that award, which did include a little trophy of golden hands holding a soccer ball. And then he was also awarded with a medal, which I was going to see if he's wearing right now, but it does not appear that he is. I'm just seeing his tie. But yeah, they said the FIFA Peace Prize is presented annually on behalf of the billions of football-loving people from around the world to a distinguished individual who exemplifies an unwavering commitment to advancing peace and unity throughout the world through their notable leadership and action. That is what the certificate that was awarded to Trump read. So he's gotten a little bit of hardware here at this ceremony, and of course the draw is happening live right now. I was trying to see what updates I could find for you. I do know that about 36 minutes ago we found out the host nations group designations. Coming up next will be the opponents. If you weren't aware, it is a North American kind of trio of host nations. It is Mexico, the United States, and Canada. So we did learn that Mexico is in Group A, Canada Group B, and the United States will be in Group D. I'm going to keep my eye kind of here on these live alerts and see if we figure out what teams the U.S. is going to be playing, and I'll certainly bring that to you right here on the Live Desk. Speaking of D.C., let's take a live look at the White House because earlier this morning, they got a little bit of snow. I know I was showing this a few days ago, pointing out all the green that D.C. had, because certainly here in Milwaukee, we have been covered in that white stuff since last Saturday, but now they also have a little bit of snow as well. Doesn't look like much more than a dusting, so I'm slightly jealous because we got pummeled with the snow over the weekend, and it seems like we're going to get a little bit more this upcoming weekend, but we will keep our eye kind of on any big news coming out of D.C. I know a couple of minutes ago, learned that a federal judge has ordered unsealing of grand jury transcripts, from an abandoned Jeffrey Epstein investigation. That was out of Florida. So it looks like potentially we'll be getting some more information on the sex trafficking cases between both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, which is his girlfriend who is currently imprisoned and serving time for her role in those cases. Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein and releasing of the Jeffrey Epstein files have been a big headline for the last couple of years. And we did see last month the House and the Senate pass a bill to release all those files, which President Trump did sign. Next up, they had about 30 days to release them. They did explain that they'll be going through all the files and redacting any information that has to do with victims. They obviously want to protect victims' privacy, but that should be the only thing that gets redacted. And it's kind of the waiting game right now to see when those files do come down. Of course, that will be a big news story the day that they do. So stick with us here at Fox 6 and Wisconsin Live Desk, and we will keep you informed. Enough of D.C., though. Let's take a live look here in Milwaukee, where you kind of look similar with all this snow still on the ground. But again, 25 degrees right now, windy out there. Maybe I'll try and find us one that can really show the flags waving. There is a flag on kind of the right-hand side screen. That's usually how I judge the wind. Thankfully, the camera isn't moving too badly right now, so that's always good as well. Big sports weekend, I would argue, here in Wisconsin, as well as here in our neighboring state, Illinois. The Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers are facing off on Sunday, so we'll take a live look right here at Lambeau, because this is where they are playing. It is a home game for the Green Bay Packers, so if you're going up to Green Bay, bundle up. You are brave. I don't think I can do an outdoor football game in December or January when it comes to anywhere in the Midwest. But I was going to ask TVV a couple of days ago for his kind of advice if you're heading outside for a football game to how to stay warm. Here is the tip that I received this week from our very own Carrie Doctor, because a group of us are getting ready to do the Santa Cycle Rampage tomorrow, which is an outdoor bike ride here in Milwaukee for 13 miles. He said, and I will kind of pull up myself here so that you can get a visual as I describe this method. He said to put on a mitten, or a glove, and then we're going to get our hand warmer, put that on, and then we're going to put a second glove or mitten on top of it. That way it stays in place so you can be warm there. I think that's great advice. And then I would say, as somebody who grew up in Chicago and spent 3 years in Wisconsin before moving to the South, I always would just use hand warmers everywhere. Like, keep them in your pockets. That's another good spot. Throw them in your boots if you have them, because yeah, it gets really cold outside and we want you to stay warm. But it does beg the question, where will you be watching the Packers versus Bears game on Sunday? And it's actually our poll right now, which I'm going to pull up here. You can head to vote at fox6now.com / I think it's poll, yes, or you can scan that QR code on the right-hand side of your screen. But the question is, will you be heading to Lambeau? Will you be watching at home? Will you be watching at a neighbor or a friend's place? Or will you be watching at a bar? So right now, it would appear at home is winning by quite a large margin. Maybe you just want to stay warm, or maybe you're a nervous watcher, because I'm going to be honest, I'm very nervous for this game. If you've never tuned into the Wisconsin Live Desk, I am from Chicago, so unfortunately I am a Bears fan, and I'm just nervous because I feel like for the first time in a few years, we really have a chance to win, but that's usually when the Chicago Bears blow it. So I'm nervous. I plan to watch at home because I don't want to be by Packers fans when I think we blow it, because that's what I'm expecting the Bears to do. But please go and vote in this poll. Let me go add my answer to it, which is going to just really increase the lead. Delaney's currently seated in a different desk, so I'm not going to pull up our producer camera. But Delaney, can you still talk?
Yeah, I can still talk.
Perfect. Where are you watching Sunday's game?
Probably at home. I think it would be fun to go to the bar, but I think my roommate and I will just stay at home and watch it.
I will say this. I always think it's fun to like go to a bar to watch a football game, but football games are long. Like, you're there for 3 hours, and then I feel bad if I'm just like hogging a table. So I'm like, oh, I need to keep ordering, like whether that be another drink or should I get an appetizer? Suddenly I'm getting dessert. And then it's like, whoa, this actually cost me a lot of money to watch this out of my home. You know, Delaney?
No, for sure. It's definitely expensive to watch outside of your home, but then also it's so busy. So if you're not there super early, it's hard to get a seat.
Excellent point. Honestly, that is an excellent point. So I voted, and I don't think that the number even changed, which was kind of not as exciting. But I voted for at home, so just increase the lead of that one. Delaney's voting at home. I do also like going to like a neighbor or a friend's place, because that way you're still kind of saving money, but you're with other people. But I feel like in those situations, you want to all be rooting for the same team for it to truly be enjoyable. Right, Delaney? Or do you disagree?
It's fun to root for the same team, but in college, when my friends and I would watch the Packers-Vikings, it was such a mix of people who liked both teams, which was also kind of fun. 'Cause then it was a little bit competitive.
I guess, you know what, that's a good point, because you went to UW-Eau Claire, and Eau Claire is so close to Minnesota that it makes sense there's a lot of Vikings fans. So, to Delaney's point, I think it's fun when you have both teams represented, but I don't want to be like the lone Chicago Bears fan, because then it's like one person is just getting pummeled on if like their team was losing. But you're right, if it's like an even spread, like if it was like, 4 Packers fans, 3 Bears fans, that would be okay with me.
Yeah, being the lone fan is hard, but
It is.
if there's a mix, then I think it's okay.
Okay, we love to hear that. I will say, I don't have to thankfully feel like the lone fan quite the way you would expect in our newsroom. We do have a lot of Chicago people, but specifically Andrew Amuzu, one of our newest reporters, sits right next to me, and we were saying that hopefully on Monday it's a victory Monday for us because we're both really nervous. So I appreciate that even here there's a good mix of Bears and Packers and Vikings, and of course Donovan in any conversation we'll bring up that he's a Detroit Lions fan. So really, we got the NFC North pretty well represented in our newsroom. Delaney's a Packers fan, so we also have okay, we've got the Packers and Bears represented right now here on the live desk, Delaney.
I know, look at that.
Look at that. This is what I'm going to show you guys. This is why we can't see Delaney right now. Look how boring this is. I guess we can kind of see right there in the background. Give us a wave, Delaney. There we go. She's sitting over there today because she didn't want me to show her on the camera. No, I'm just kidding. She just sat there because the other chair was taken when she got into the control room, right?
Yeah, and then I had to set up our next guest.
Correct. Excellent point, Delaney. I do just want to quickly throw up, though, the full screen that has all the information for the Packers and Bears game. Again, it's happening Sunday, and you can watch it right here on Fox 6. If you don't have tickets in Green Bay or you're not feeling like freezing, stay in the comfort of your home or your friend's home and put on Fox 6. We will have coverage starting at 10 a.m. That's where you can find Fox NFL Kickoff. 11 a.m., you've got your Fox NFL Sunday. Noon, Bengals at Bills, which, again, I will also be watching that game. My fantasy football quarterback that I am playing and starting, Joe Burrow. So my eyes will be peeled to that game. Hopefully he's getting me lots of points. And then I'll stay tuned, of course, at 3:25. That is when your Packers kick off against the Chicago Bears. TVV will be there, so make sure that you stay tuned for a special edition of Fox 6 News after the game. And as always, Sunday night, 10:30, Fox 6 Sports Blitz. We'll get you all caught up on anything you might have missed if you happen to be out and you missed the game in the afternoon. So we've got you covered, which is always really nice. But hey, we do have a lot of things coming up for you these next 2 hours, or really 3 hours, because I know Sam's got some special guests as well here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're going to kick it off, though, getting into the holiday spirit, which I feel like I already am in because of all the snow. We'll take another live look outside at that snow right now. But if you're looking for some Christmas activities to do, or just any sort of holiday activities, because I don't know about you, but for me, Christmas seems like it's coming so fast because we had such a late Thanksgiving that I'm looking at my calendar and realizing I only have 3 weekends before Christmas is here, and I want to do all the Christmassy things. So one Christmas tradition is probably going and seeing the Nutcracker, perhaps by the Milwaukee Ballet. They are kicking off their month-long kind of performance schedule tomorrow night with the Nutcracker, and we're chatting with them live next here on the Wisconsin Live Desk for your Fine Arts Friday, as we like to call it here. So you're not going to want to miss that interview. Stay with us. We'll be right back in 2 minutes, and we'll bring you, I was going to say to break a leg, like to the stage, but we're not going to do that because it's ballerinas, and that'd be really bad. But they're going to be great. So we'll chat. The Nutcracker coming up next.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back into the Wisconsin Live Desk this Friday afternoon. Time check for you, it is 12:45, and I want to head us back out to, it's technically DC, it's at the Kennedy Center. This is the kind of camera shot that continues to show us President Trump, who is in the audience for the FIFA World Cup draw, which is happening right now. You can see the First Lady Melania sitting right next to him as we kind of wait to see who the U.S. will be playing next year when the World Cup is actually here in the U.S. as well as in Mexico and Canada. They are the three host nations. I do want to let you know, it looks like we have found our first U.S. opponent, and that is going to be Australia. They are joining Group D. So right now we know Group D is the USA as well as Australia. Australia is currently ranked number 26th in the world. So there you go. We have our first kind of team joining that group. Still got some more to go, so we're going to, of course, keep our eye on this World Cup draw and let you know what happens. It is a 48-team field. That is the largest in the competition's history. They are being split into 12 groups of 4 right now in DC. So 2 more teams will be joining us in Group D, and I will absolutely let you know once we have that information. Speaking of sports, Brewers fans, it's kind of an exciting day for you, actually on a couple of fronts. One, you can go and buy the new powder blue road jersey that they announced yesterday, which Delaney and I both said were fabulous. That's coming from a Cubs fan. That's how you know it's a good jersey. It looks great. It's also their clubhouse sale happening right now, where you get up to 80% off on merchandise, which I don't think the Cubs do anything like that, and I'm incredibly jealous because that is such a good deal, especially as you head into the holiday season. So if you are a Brewers fan, go shop for yourself, but if you know Brewers fans, go get some Christmas gifts. You also get to go in kind of an area that you're not normally allowed. I believe the sale happens in the visitors clubhouse, which I would love to see. Like, even a Cubs fan, I would love to go to the visitor at AmFam clubhouse, 'cause I just love baseball, and that's such a cool kind of access to an area that you're normally not allowed in. So that's awesome. But it's also an exciting day for the Brewers because their outfielder, I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, Christian Yelich. I'm just kidding. That's obviously one of their star players. It's his birthday. So we do want to just take a second here on the Wisconsin Live Desk to say happy birthday to Christian Yelich. He obviously is the left fielder there. Delaney, do you remember how old he's turning, or do you want to guess?
It's 34, right?
You nailed it. Yes, that was my question for Carl. We tease the Wisconsin Live Desk now during our 11 a.m. hour of the news, and I asked Carl today if he knew how old Christian Yelich was turning. He guessed 33, so close, but it is 34. Of course, happy birthday to Christian Yelich, which, you know what, I'm curious, Delaney, if anybody out there has named their dog like Yelich after Christian, because, you know, I named my dog Zobrist, which people are always like, that is such a strange name, but he's named after Ben Zobrist, who's the Cubs World Series MVP. So I bet you there's like some Yelich pups out there, Delaney.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Yeah. I think it's a cool way to show your love for a baseball team in like a unique way. But I did take Zobrist to the vet yesterday, and they had a sign out front that welcomed all of the pets that they were seeing that day, and Brewer was on the list. And I thought that's also a good dog name.
I had a friend in elementary school who named their dog Brewer.
Yeah. I feel like that's where y'all win, because I would never name a dog like Cub, but Brewer is kind of cool. So I approve that dog name.
It is a good dog name.
It is. I always said if I were to get a second dog, I think I would stick with the athlete theme. But normally I like to pick somebody not just for like how they do in their sport. So like Ben Zobrist is such a family guy. He has just amazing values. And so I was like, that's why I really like Ben Zobrist. So he's great on the field, but he's also a good human. So I said if I were to get another dog, I think I would go with Phelps. Named after Michael Phelps. I love the Olympics. I'm always tuning into those games, but I also really like how Michael Phelps not only is the GOAT when it comes to swimming, but he really has, chosen to now take his retirement platform and make it all about mental health and speaking out about mental health. And I go, I love that. So if I ever were to get a second dog, I said to Laney I would name him Phelps, but then I quickly learned that Zobrist hates dogs, so he's an only child.
I like that you were planning ahead, but it is unfortunate that Zobrist doesn't get along well with the other dogs.
I know. I really did. I really did try to plan ahead. I was excited to potentially have Zobrist and Phelps, but you know what I think it was? I think it's that would be too much for me to have to pay for 2 dogs, because dogs are a little expensive. The vet yesterday was a really fun time for me. So I'm kind of glad that I only had one, and I think because I really, truly can't have a second dog with Zobrist, that really made that decision easy for me. You know, Delaney?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm showing Delaney again in the corner because she refuses to go near the camera, Delaney. Being a little camera shy today. I like that we can only see your shoulder laughing.
I know. This shot is so great.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, maybe
I'll eventually move over there. Just
Okay.
trying to work out our Zoom guest.
Yeah. All right. That's a fair assessment. I think I'm going to take us back out, Delaney, to FIFA so we can stick with the sports theme. There is some audio here. I know it's a little bit different because we're not looking at the stage where the actual drawing is happening. We're instead watching the president's reaction to it, but I do think we should be able to hear it. So let's turn the sound up and listen in together just for a minute or two here as the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw continues.
Argentina's first game at the World Cup holders against Algeria.
Okay. Yeah.
Uzbekistan.
Afternoon, this is ahead of the 2006 and 2024.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like we can hear the stage as well as I was hoping to. So instead, let me kind of run you through what we have so far as far as the groups that are already formed. Oh, this is exciting. We actually just found out who the U.S. will be facing in the World Cup opener, Paraguay. Paraguay was just drawn into Group D. They are in the second position, which signifies they will be the first opponent for the U.S. So that game is going to be taking place in L.A. on June 12th. So how exciting that we actually now know not just who's in our group and who we'll be facing at some point, but who we will kick off the World Cup opener with, which will be the U.S. taking on Paraguay. Otherwise, I was going to run you through what we know as far as the other groups after the second round of drawings had happened. So we had Group A, Mexico, South Korea. Again, all of these groups, when they're finalized, will have 4 countries in them. Group B, Canada, Switzerland. Group C, Brazil and Morocco. Group D, USA and Australia. Again, we just learned too, Paraguay is in that group. Group E, we've got Germany and Ecuador. Group F, Netherlands, Japan. Group G, Belgium and Iran. Group H, Spain, Uruguay. Group I, France, Senegal. Group J, Argentina and Austria. Group K, Portugal and Colombia. And rounding it all out so far in Group L, that is England and Croatia. But I just know so many people are going to be thrilled when the World Cup happens. My college best friend, Caitlin, who was my roommate my freshman year, she is such a big soccer or football, if you want to say it the European way, fan. And she is thrilled that the World Cup will be in portion here in the U.S. next year. I know that she's entered like every drawing to potentially buy tickets, and she's prepared to go anywhere if she does qualify to buy tickets. So I have a feeling that right now Caitlin is probably watching this draw as well, wanting to be in the know as far as who the U.S. will be playing, and also in those other groups. I know Argentina, the 22 World Cup champion, which you might think, oh, that's years ago. Keep in mind the World Cup happens every 4 years, so that is the reigning champion, will be facing Algeria for their 2026 opening game. So starting to kind of find out who people are truly facing that first round, which is going to be so exciting. Delaney, how do you rank when it comes to soccer fandom? Are we a soccer fan?
Not really, but it is exciting that a portion will be in the U.S.
Yes, and I think the Olympics come to LA soon as well, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the next Summer Olympics might be in LA. I think it's so exciting, yeah, when you have these kind of truly like world stage games set right here in U.S. soil, and it makes it seem more attainable to be able to go and to see them, so that's exciting. I'm also not the biggest soccer fan. It's just not something that I grew up watching, so instead it's like I need to now learn all about that sport, but that's always exciting for me too. I'm always wanting to add, sports knowledge and become fans of new sports and new teams. Even just like how this whole thing works, I'm already learning with the drawing, the different kind of groups and how many teams will be in each one and how that sets the way. But I hope the U.S. does well. I mean, how exciting if the U.S. could potentially at least make it far in the World Cup while it's here. That'd be pretty exciting. All right, we're going to take a quick break right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're going to keep monitoring the feeds. I was going to say, for a second, something popped up. Looks like it's down again, but Delaney and I will keep our eye on what we can bring in next. I know at some point we're going to also talk a free activity happening tomorrow, which, if it's free, it's for me. We've got those details. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back into the Wisconsin Live Desk, and also happy Friday. I feel like I kind of didn't even mention that here at 12:30. We did it. We made it to the end of a work week, and we made it to the end of a very cold work week, which I feel like just deserves that much more of a little bit of extra celebration. Now we can turn our attention and our eyes to the weekend. And if you are still looking for what you're going to do today, tomorrow, or Sunday, we at least can help you out plan your Saturday. We're joined right now with Kim Graves with the Milwaukee County Zoo. Kim, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you because we want to chat Family Free Day. Tell me about this opportunity tomorrow.
So we're really excited. Tomorrow, Saturday, is our last free day of the year, sponsored by FOX6, and we open from 9:30 to 4:30. All guests are admitted for free, so you just still have to pay for parking and any special attractions like the train or the carousel. But otherwise, everyone is welcome to attend for free admission to explore all of our animal buildings and habitats inside and out.
So tell me, for maybe the viewers who have never had the chance to make it out to the Milwaukee County Zoo just yet, what we can see and experience at the zoo.
So the great thing is the zoo is open year round, and you can still see a number of animals outdoors in the winter, even in the colder months. So you can expect to see outdoors, for example, our Japanese macaques over on Monkey Island. We have our harbor seals in the North American area, our North American river otters, also caribou, elk, etc. So still a number of animals that you can see outdoors in the chillier days, but a number of indoor animal buildings as well, where you can go inside and warm up. So apes and primates buildings, we have big cats, you can see elephants indoors, the aquatic and reptile center, almost any animal, major animal that you can think of, we have here. And so we're really excited to have guests come out for our final free day and explore the zoo grounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have to ask you then, Kim, while we have you, what is your favorite animal to see at the zoo?
Oh, it's hard, and sometimes it really just depends on the day because there's so many. I really like the giraffes; they're so graceful. I love getting up close and personal with them, but also the Japanese macaques that I mentioned earlier are so fun to watch. We have a number of babies on Monkey Island as well, and because you can see them outdoors, they love playing in the snow. They chase each other. They jump into the water. They're just really fun to watch. So a variety, just kind of depends on the day. Really hard to choose.
That's such a good point. I do feel like every time I go to the zoo, I see like a new animal or just have a special encounter with them where I'm like, that was the highlight of my day. But talk to me about accessibility and why it is so important for you guys to have these family free day and give the opportunity for others to come into the zoo and not have to pay that admission.
Oh, absolutely. So the zoo is for everyone. We really want to emphasize that, and by offering, at the very least, 6 free admission days a year. Coming up, we'll also have near the end of the month a Frosty Free Week, as well as other discounted opportunities. So really, just want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity, multiple days throughout the year and all seasons, to come and enjoy the zoo and really. Be thankful and take part in, this is a zoo, this is a world-renowned zoo right here in our backyard in our Milwaukee community, and everyone should have the opportunity to experience that.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's so fun when you have a zoo and these animals just right in your own backyard, as you were saying. And if anyone goes tomorrow, they can also maybe stop by the zoo's giving tree. Tell me about this kind of wish list that you guys have for your animals this holiday season.
We're so thrilled. Our Zoo Pride volunteers put up the Giving Tree, which will be up now through the end of December, featuring handmade ornaments of what we consider wishes for enrichment items for each of the different animal areas. And these are just something that a little extra special. Of course, all of our animals receive enrichment daily and throughout the year, but this is just something a little above and beyond for them to get a little something special. So we encourage people to come in, and if you're not able to, you can also get the wish list on our website as well. But pick out, depending on the day, your favorite animal and see what some of their favorite items might be.
I gotta say, I feel like I'm learning so much already, Kim, just from looking at the website. For instance, elephants, it says popcorn kernels. Elephants like popcorn kernels?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's other kind of, unique gift ideas and things as well. For example, like our big cats also are really into scented, perfumed items. So you might see like perfume on the wish list.
Yeah.
A lot of our animals enjoy painting as well. So you'll see art supplies on there. So it really helps keep their minds active and busy, and it gives them, some additional enrichment. So I think some of the things that you'll see on the wish list might be kind of surprising, like you mentioned the popcorn kernels, but it's all in good fun, and our animal care team loves seeing the animals get those experiences as well.
Yeah, I feel like this could actually become such a fun learning opportunity for families to go, pick out one of the things off the tree that they're going to go and buy, but then learn why the animals would love that item. I always love kind of mixing in a holiday activity with a lesson to be learned. So that's a great idea. And speaking of holiday activities, we should keep the zoo in mind. Talk to me about Wild Lights.
Right, so Wild Lights is going on again through the end of December on select nights, most nights in December. We will have something going on, and it's a fun opportunity to experience and celebrate the holidays and see the zoo after dark. So we have hundreds of thousands of light displays throughout the zoos, and there's a number of formats as well. So we have a drive-through night coming up, also cheers for 21 and up. But come through, check out all of the illuminated displays. Many are animal themed. We have a special festive food and drink menu. And so it's just a great opportunity, you know, to walk through the zoo after dark, illuminated, and create some new holiday memories.
As I say, I saw some photos of wild lights, and I think it's so cool that you guys have like giraffe light, you know, kind of displays where you can truly see the animals that are now lights. Such a fun, festive idea.
Absolutely. Every year we're adding something new attractions, new games, new light features, new songs. So we really try to make it fresh every year. So if you've been before, or if you haven't checked this out, you are sure to be astounded this holiday season here at Wild Lights.
Absolutely. All right. I feel like we've learned so much about what we can do at the County Zoo. Before I let you go, Kim, anything else you want to tell us about here on the Wisconsin Live Desk?
I just encourage people to go, as you mentioned before, our website, milwaukeezoo.org. Go to, I believe it's the visit and the upcoming events. You will see between the Giving Tree, all of the wild lights, the free days coming up, Zoo Year's Eve. There's truly something for everyone, and just encourage people, you know, it's even though it's winter time and it's cold, the zoo is still rocking, and there's truly like something going on almost every day that we encourage people to come and check out.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you so much for joining us this Friday on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and perhaps we'll see you at the zoo tomorrow for Family Free Day. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Always fun to check in with the zoo. As Kim mentioned, I just think it's so cool that we have such a nice zoo right here in Milwaukee County so that we can go and see the animals, whether that be during the day as they're in their exhibits or go at night and see all those beautiful Christmas lights. I love Christmas lights. I will never get tired of them. I always want to go to as many displays as possible as soon as that like late November, December timeframe hits. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. I don't know if you can see behind me. This is the feed we're going to go to next. That is where our very own Jason Calvi is right now. There is a protest happening in Milwaukee. So we'll take a quick break and we'll get you out there live as it happens. Stay with us.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back here to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Friday afternoon. Just a quick time check for you. It is now 1:09, and it is kind of a little bit warmer than I guess it was yesterday, 26 degrees, but I know Rob Haswell, one of our chief meteorologists, was saying it's a little bit windy today, so it might kind of feel the same outside. Speaking of outside, I want to head outside right now to speak with our very own Jason Calvi. You might remember last month we learned from an open records request about some plans for a new Milwaukee ice facility. So let's bring in Jason Calvi, because I know today you are outside of a protest happening regarding ice. Jason, what can you tell us?
Is where ICE currently works, and they are, as you mentioned, we found those open records that show that there's actually a new facility that they're planning to move to on the city's northwest side. But I want to show you, there is a protest taking place right behind me here. You can see dozens of people lined up with their signs. It's just started at 1 o'clock, and it's going to go for at least another hour or so. And several different groups in Wisconsin gathering here on Knapp Street. This is the campus of MSOE. This building that is leased by the federal government, Homeland Security, is actually owned by MSOE, the Milwaukee School of Engineering. So this rally today is a part of many different groups coming together: Badger Collective, Families for Justice, Indivisible, and other groups as well. So you can see their signs here. They say ICE out of Wisconsin. That is the theme of this rally and protest. And they're also going to be doing a little march as well down the streets here in Milwaukee's downtown area. Haley?
Jason, what's kind of the vibe there right now? I mean, are they getting some support by cars that are driving by? Are there any counter protesters? How many people do you think are out there?
Yeah, so right now, definitely no counter protesters that I've seen. There's been a couple cars that have gone by that have honked, and then when the cars have honked, then the people that are joining the protest have cheered. Again, if we just kind of pan down the street here on Knapp Street, you could see several dozen protesters. I haven't had a chance to count them all yet, but dozens and dozens of protesters showing up here with signs that say things like hands off our neighbors, or ICE out of Wisconsin, things like that, ICE out as well. And I must mention, it is pretty cold out here. I think the last check of the temperature right here in downtown Milwaukee is about 26, 27 degrees. So we are dealing with some pretty cold temperature, but not what we were dealing with yesterday, where it was even colder than this.
I feel like that also, Jason, just shows how, passionate these protesters are about this cause to still come out, despite it being unseasonably cold right now in Wisconsin. I know you mentioned this is kind of the current ICE facility at MSOE's campus. You did learn, though, last month about plans for a new facility. Can you remind us what we know about that potential new facility?
Yeah, so that is a facility on the northwest side. It's currently, or it has been recently, unused a building, office space. And so right now we've been looking through city records. We got our hands on those city records that show that the federal government actually is transforming a particular building over there on the northwest side to become an ICE office. Now, according to these documents from the federal government, this is only going to be used during normal business hours. It's not even in the applications to the city, or the licenses to the city that they've requested their applications. They said they're not even going to be serving food there. So at first there was a Milwaukee alderwoman who said that this potentially might be an ICE detention facility, but the fact that there's not going to, at least according to the applications, not going to be food served there, it's going to be open during the normal sort of office hours, it doesn't lead one to believe it's going to be a detention facility. And ICE itself said there was no plans to use that northwest side location as a detention facility. I can tell you here in Wisconsin, ICE does have one official immigrant detention facility that's based out of the Dodge County Jail. So they partner there, and that's where they work right now. But they also have partnerships with sheriffs around the state. And that is a big issue that's going to be coming in front of the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
So I was looking here on FOX6Now.com, and it was November 14th where you first reported on that new facility, at least the open records request that gave you those plans. I'm curious, in the last now maybe 3 or so weeks since we've learned of that facility, what has been the community's response?
Well, I can tell you that the city, there's been questions about whether or not the city can sort of slow the process down, and the answer is really not. The federal government doesn't necessarily need to have the permits and things like that. Now, they have been going through that process with that northwest side facility. They have gone through for HVAC, the heating and ventilation. And just going to pause here so you can hear the honking of the horn and the cheering of the crowds here. But yeah, the federal government has been going through that application process for licenses for plumbing, and the city of Milwaukee did give its occupancy permit to ICE. And so if you look at our story from a few weeks ago, you see that we did obtain that occupancy permit from the city that's been given to the to ICE. So you can check out that story on the Fox Local app here to find out more about what exactly happened there. But according to people with the city government, they, you know, there's not like they can stop this process whether or not the federal government, they can move forward without the occupancy permit, even though they have been going through the application process with the city. It's not necessary when you're dealing with a federal government entity, is what I'm told by city leaders.
Well, Jason, I know that you are currently across the street from where those protesters are. I'm just curious here. Have you been able to talk to them? And if so, what are they saying? And also, would you mind just having your photographer pan a little bit away from one of those posters? Just had a word I don't want to show here on the stream. Thank you for doing that. I'll bring you back up now. But Jason, have you had the chance to chat with any of these protesters? And if so, what did they say? Why are they out there today? Why was this important for them to come out?
Haley, the phone's breaking up a little bit. It's chopping up. I wanted to check with my photojournalist to see. Is your phone also breaking up, Mike? A little bit of breakup here. Probably, I don't know why, but having a little bit of breakup on the cell phone connection here. So I'll step into the shot here. But I believe you were asking if we had a chance to talk to some of the protesters. Yeah, the answer to that is no, because it literally just started. We dialed in, got across the street to get our shots for the live desk here. But we do plan to go across the street and start talking to the people here about why they came out today.
Jason, if you can hear me now, I'll let you go here shortly, but just curious when we can catch your story later on today on Fox Local.
Yeah, you can check it out on Fox Local. We'll be live at 4 o'clock as well as 5 o'clock, and we're going to have reports running as well at 6 o'clock tonight about what exactly is going on here. We should have some reaction as well. To give you an insight into MSOE as far as the lease here, they purchased this building after ICE, the federal government's, if you look across the street, it's the Department of Homeland Security, and they've been renting this space before MSOE purchased it. So it's a existing tenant that MSOE took on when they purchased this building behind me, and there's been a process. I know MSOE would like to use this facility for other purposes. They already have plans in the works to use this as part of their campus. Again, they purchased it after ICE had already been a tenant. It's an ongoing tenant. And as far as when exactly they're going to be vacating this space, according to the university here, according to MSOE, they say they don't know exactly when ICE is going to be vacating this building.
I know you've been doing a lot of kind of diving into this story. It's going to be a very in-depth report. We'll absolutely keep our eyes peeled for that later on Fox Local. Jason, thanks so much for taking the time to bring us to this protest and bring us that report.
Haley, thank you.
And that is the latest from our very own Jason Calvi. Again, he is outside a protest happening regarding the new potential ICE facility in Milwaukee. Again, we will have some more sound maybe from those protesters coming up later on Fox Local in Jason's full story. ICE has been in the headlines across the nation. It's a very divisive issue. So I know that this is kind of here in Milwaukee now as well, bringing out some protesters and bringing out just some arguments about whether or not they should be here. Obviously, Jason will bring you both sides of what's happening right there. We're going to take another break right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and then we'll have some more live reports coming up for you shortly.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, and welcome back into the Wisconsin Live Desk this Friday afternoon at 1:20. So the FIFA World Cup draw is officially over, so I don't have that feed anymore to show you, but I did just want to run you through all of Team USA's schedule, which is set. I don't think I'm going to run through all of the draw because I don't know that you guys are going to care that much about all the different groups. Maybe you do. You can find it online, I promise. But here's Team USA's schedule. So the U.S. men's national team is going to open the 2026 World Cup against Paraguay. Again, that is June 12th at SoFi Stadium. So that's in California. Its second game of Group D play, because that's what group we are in, will be on June 19th in Seattle against Australia. And then it's going to close the group stage on June 25th, again in Inglewood. So again, that's at SoFi Stadium. And that will play the winner of a playoff, which will either be Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, or Kosovo. So we still, I guess, have to figure out who our third one is, but it'll be one of those four countries. So if you were wondering, now we have our draw set complete. It is good to go. And I know a lot of people are just going to truly, I think, be very excited. It's just crazy to think, Delaney, I feel like this is going to happen so fast, but it's not until June. But I can already feel like I'm going to blink my eye and the World Cup's going to be here, you know?
It's definitely going to come quick.
Which is good, because in June I'm going to be a lot warmer than I am right now.
That is true. That's the good news.
That is the good news. That is the benefit there. Which also in June means baseball season's happening, which just, it's a happier Haley when there's baseball to watch.
That is true.
Have you noticed that? You've noticed that I'm happier during baseball? No, I feel like I'm
No,
happy.
I think you're just always happy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know you guys think that. You told me I'm Buddy the Elf. If you guys weren't here for that episode of the Wisconsin Live Desk, we had a crazy Chat GPT Haley and Buddy the Elf costume thing, but yeah, that's what they said I reminded them of, which I was originally offended by because I think that Buddy is overwhelming and a little annoying. But you said it's just because I'm happy and positive.
Yeah, I think it's just because you're happy and positive. You're not... Buddy the Elf can be a little bit annoying, but you're not like that.
She goes home at night and she's probably telling her roommate, like, this girl I have to work with is so annoying.
No.
No, that's true, because you're hanging out with me tomorrow, so you must not feel that way.
You know we love working together.
We do. We do love working together. It is so true. This became a long tangent. I was going to very smoothly get us into baseball because I wanted to take us out to a live picture right now, Delaney, of AmFam, which thank goodness the roof is closed because it's covered in snow. So we don't have the baseball field to have any of that snow there. But right now, you can head to AmFam. You can park for free, and you can go into the Brewers Clubhouse sale. So again, there is Brewers merchandise right now up to 80% off, which is better than any Black Friday deal I saw last week. But here's some of the information. It is 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. today at the Visitors Clubhouse, which I also think is so cool. Like, they could just have this sale in their normal store, but instead they're letting you have access into the Visitors Clubhouse, which as any baseball fan, I think that's cool, even though I am not a Brewers fan. Up to 80% off merch, though, as I said, and there's also game-used items, which I think could make the coolest gift for a Brewers fan in your life, to have a bat or a base or turnstiles, I think is what they said they even have. There's some, I mean, historical items, you could argue, from AmFam that are going to be for sale. And then you do have a couple more days. It runs through Sunday, but one thing to note, they are not accepting cash. This is a cashless event, so make sure you have, a card with you, potentially maybe your Apple Pay on you, which I always forget Apple Pay's a thing, Delaney, and then I'm like, that is so handy that you don't even have to take out like your credit card from your wallet.
It's so convenient. I still have to set mine up. I just always forget about it.
Here's that thing that's bad about it, is that it doesn't even feel like I'm really spending money. So it's like tap, tap, and then you're like, oh, whoops, I just spent $400.
Yeah, I could understand that happening.
Yeah.
That would happen to me a lot.
Yeah. Are you going to go to this clubhouse sale, Delaney?
I think I might. I've never been, but it sounds fun. Like a cool experience.
I'm trying to decide if I believe Delaney.
I don't think I can make it tomorrow, but I could make it on Sunday.
Okay. I love that it's happening for a few days. That's great. Why can't you make it tomorrow? Do you have something you're doing?
We'll be doing the Santa Cycle Rampage.
We will, with Carrie and with Trisha and with Kale and his wife, and we're a little nervous. Gonna be a little cold.
It's definitely going to be chilly.
And Kale has rented like a big tire bike because he's worried about like how the ice is going to be on the roads. Delaney and I aren't doing that, so we're like, I hope we don't fall on our bikes, but if we do, great story. So if I come next week and there's like a scrape along my face, just know that I fell off my bike. I will say, Delaney, do you know what I'm doing when I get home today?
What's the plan?
I'm doing what Stephanie suggested because she said the weather today is kind of similar to what it's going to be tomorrow. So I am going to put on all of my layers and my reindeer onesie because the Santa Cycle Rampage, if you didn't know, it's really fun. Thousands of people put on Santa costumes and elf costumes and reindeer costumes, and they go and they ride their bikes kind of through Milwaukee. It's a 13-mile bike ride. But anyway, I'm literally going to put this on to go walk my dog around my neighborhood. So I hope I see no one. Because if I saw some girl walking her dog in a reindeer costume, I'd be like, what is that girl doing?
I think it's a great idea. Then you know you're prepared. But I would love to see that. Like watching somebody walk their dog in a costume.
Right? That's so
fun.
Maybe I'll put it on my Instagram story so that we're all in on the joke together. You're laughing with me, not at me. You know?
Exactly. I think you should.
It's funny because like tomorrow it won't be silly at all because everyone is in costume. But when you're the only person walking your dog, but I want to know, do I need another layer, or maybe did I overdo it and I'm sweating? Like I want to figure that out today.
It'll be good to find out today.
It will be. It will be. All right, Delaney, I think it's time for another break. And then we're going to talk weather. We'll check in with Stephanie and see if it's still going to be about the same thing tomorrow for our forecast, selfishly.
Yeah, we'll have to get that weather update.
We will. Can you do my favorite thing?
We'll be back after this short break.
Thanks, Delaney.
is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Friday afternoon, where it is now 1:30. Let's take another live look outside. This is Mitchell International Airport. Again, it's chilly out there, 26 degrees, and you can see actually a little bit of wind as the camera kind of shakes back and forth there. Oh, and we just got so lucky. I think we're catching a takeoff. Although it's going kind of slow. Maybe they just landed. I hope they're not taking off. That would have freaked me out a little bit, Delaney. We need more speed than that. But if you want your actual weather forecast, let's bring in our weather expert, Steph, joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. First of all, Steph, happy Friday. We did it.
Same.
We made it.
Oh, we did it.
What are we in store for as far as the forecast today and this weekend?
Yeah, we have got a little bit more activity that's going to happen over the weekend, and even this afternoon and evening, more so, closer to your evening hours. A little bit of light snow going to work its way on through, so keep that in mind for anyone commuting later today. Of course, it is Friday. I'm sure a lot of us will be out and about later on tonight, so something to just be aware of. Now, there is a better chance for snow on Sunday, and we could pick up potentially about 1 to 3 inches of accumulation late Saturday night into Sunday morning. So as far as a chance for shovelable snow, that's more so going to be Sunday, not necessarily what we see today. But look at these temperatures. I mean, it's still cold with the wind, but we are over 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. A lot of spots are now in the mid-20s and will still climb a few more degrees. With the incoming storm system we see later today, it is coming with a warm front. So there's actually the possibility as we get to about midnight, we could hit 30. I know that sounds great, but most of us will be sleeping. And then we're going to rapidly drop into early tomorrow morning. It's one of those really weird times where the system's kind of coming throughout our overnight hours. Regardless, we are quite a bit warmer than yesterday. That being said, the wind chill is still in the teens because the wind is a bit stronger. So you'll notice temperature-wise from here, we are going to hold pretty steady through our late night hours. Once that accompanying cold front passes by, then temperatures will gradually drop. Likely by tomorrow morning, we could be back into the teens. So we are still expecting a drop in temperatures. Now, feel like temperatures for today, again, stay in the teens as well. Tomorrow, they'll likely be a little bit lower than where they're at right now. The wind will be lighter tomorrow than what we see today, but the air temperature will also be a little bit lower. So you get the picture here. When it comes to incoming precip, this is the view out in Red Wing, Minnesota. Overall, it is a fairly light snow. Notice how the wind's kind of ramping up a little bit out towards the west in this area too. So we'll see a period of time as the frontal boundaries actually pass where the wind picks up a bit. Again, most of that will be during our overnight hours though. So dry for now, but this is what we have ahead for later this afternoon and on into the evening. I've been watching our cameras up in Green Bay. Everything's been fairly light. So we're expecting really flurries or pockets of light snow, maybe a coating of snowfall. We're not expecting much accumulation out of this system. But I also want to point out too that there is the slight chance we see just some brief freezing drizzle heading into our evening hours too. I don't think it's going to be a widespread issue. I mentioned that if you were watching the news earlier today as well, but something just to be aware of for the evening commute. Thankfully, this is going to be in and out very quickly. And again, just showing you once again, once we hit about 5, 6 o'clock, you'll start to see some of these scattered snow showers in the area. You'll also notice how that wind begins to ramp up as we see that warm front moving through. Later tonight, the snow is gone. We will gradually clear out Saturday. Notice how the wind shifts to the northwest. That's the reason why temperatures will then drop by early tomorrow morning. We'll still make it into the 20s Saturday afternoon. It will be dry, but then late Saturday night, another round of some snow going to work its way through into early Sunday morning. That's going to be a fluffy snow, but it does bring in a better chance for accumulating snowfall, especially in some of our western communities. In fact, I think southwestern Wisconsin has the better chance to see more accumulation, maybe even 2 to about 4 inches worth. But then the rest of Sunday is looking good. I'll just show you again for what we have moving through this evening. Not expecting much in the way of accumulation. I think maybe some of our northern communities a few tenths of an inch, the rest of us about a dusting. But the Sunday storm system, fluffy snowfall. It is going to accumulate at least an inch or 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few spots getting close to 3 and then higher amounts the farther west you go. So keep that in mind. If for some reason you're going to Madison Saturday, coming back Sunday morning, you may encounter more snow in some of those western communities. And then even looking ahead to next week, we have a couple of rounds of snow in the forecast too, maybe even some wintry mix, because next Tuesday and Wednesday we have 30s back in our forecast, and that means more sleet potential or that true, rain snow mix potential. So we're still looking very active in the next 6 days. Temperatures hold pretty steady in the near term in the 20s. No major drops like what we saw yesterday, which is some good news. It's just the fact that we still have plenty of at least light snow in our extended forecast. But, to wrap it all up, again, flurries, light snow later this afternoon and evening, and then a better chance for some accumulation, Haley, by Sunday morning. Thankfully not Saturday morning, because I know you guys got a big bike ride.
We, unfortunately, Stephanie, no, we're excited. We are excited for the Santa cycle. We are just a little nervous about the cold weather, which I did realize, I was a little selfish yesterday. I asked you about my plans. So I figured today I want to ask you about what Green Bay can, I think, expect on Sunday, 3:25. Obviously, I think a lot of people will be out there watching the Bears game. Packers play the Bears.
Right. Thank you for specifying who the home team is there. No, the snow will be out of the area, so thankfully for game time, won't really need to worry about the actual snow part of the storm system. I do think it's going to be a little breezy, and of course temperatures are going to be on the chilly side. I mean, up in Green Bay, we may be looking at, maybe low 20s, feeling like single digits, low teens. So I do think it's more so the temperatures that we will be dealing with for that game on Sunday. I believe that's on our air.
It
Isn't
is.
it, Haley?
You can catch it right here, FOX 6, 3:25 p.m.
There you go. So if you can't go to the game and experience the weather firsthand, then you can stay at home in your nice heat and enjoy it by watching FOX 6.
Actually, Stephanie, I'm going to pull up the megaphone right now, which is our poll that's on fox6now.com.
Ooh, let's
and
see.
You'll see that most people like to be at home for this Packers versus Bears game. It is clearly winning at 72% right there.
I love that. It's just so much easier, right?
Yes.
I do understand. Lambeau's incredible, and I love the tailgating aspect and all the history behind it. But sometimes it's just so much easier to be at home.
No, I completely agree. And maybe you'll relate to this too. I feel like because I'm on air for a living, whenever I go out, I feel the need to look presentable. Whereas if I'm staying at home, I am makeup free, I'm in my sweats, I've got my hat on, I'm good to go.
Yes, I will say for us though, watching at home means not really watching, because I'm telling you, the second our TV goes on, a cartoon takes over. So it's like we try to switch back and forth. It doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have kids.
That is what happens when you have kids. It's a personal choice.
I feel like here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, we should take predictions. So I'm going to actually make you go first, and then I'm going to get Delaney. Who do you think wins, and what do you think the final score is?
Oh my gosh.
Going to write this down and come back to it next week.
I'm actually kind of nervous about this game.
I'm nervous as well, Steph.
Oh gosh. I think the Packers win, but by 3.
By 3. Okay.
So
you think it's going to be close?
I think it's going to be very close. Maybe, I'm going to say in a low-scoring game, too.
Let me write this down.
I'll throw that in there.
Low-scoring game. Okay, I've written this down.
Okay.
We'll check back in with you next week. We'll see how you did.
Who do you think is going to win?
I really don't know. So I'm a Bears fan. I'm from Chicago. It's hard because the Bears are so good at blowing it. When you think they're going to do well is when the Bears.
They're doing great, though.
But I was going to say, I watched the Black Friday game where they took on the Eagles, and for the first time I wasn't oh, we got the one. I was like, oh, we're actually playing well. I was proud of our offense. So, but it's Lambeau, so, they're the away team. I'm just going to be a good Chicagoan and say the Bears will win. Okay. And I'm going to give it a touchdown. So I'll say they win by 7.
Okay. There you go.
And we'll check in.
We'll see.
We'll put some stakes on it at some point. I'll figure out what we're playing for, Steph.
It's a big game, though, isn't it?
And then we have to do it all again 2 weeks later.
Oh, yeah.
When they play.
What's that all about? Why are they doing it twice? So close together.
I don't know why it's so close together. I was going to say, you always play your division twice because you have home and away. But this just seems super close. And at the end of the season.
Lucky us, I guess.
Lucky us. Lucky us. Lucky us, too, because we had you join us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. And you'll be back again next hour, right?
Yes, I will.
Perfect.
Yep,
so you shall have more weather with Sam. All right, thanks, Steph.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, now I'm going to bring in Delaney because I got to get her prediction as well. I didn't know I was going to do this until I started talking to Steph. Delaney, give me your prediction here. Writing it down, you guys.
I know. I think it'll be a close game.
Okay.
I'm going to go Packers.
Okay.
I think it'll be by a touchdown, too.
Packers by 7. And I'm going to say, obviously, Bears win. by 7. What should the stakes be, Delaney? Also, should we head back out to Green Bay? Let me put Green Bay up for you guys. Let me get that.
Ooh, I don't know. What were you thinking?
Oh, I know. Whoever wins gets Starbucks brought in. And the other 2, I guess, will split it. So I just signed up Stephanie to pay for half of a Starbucks drink that she never agreed to. If you and Delaney, I'll pay for your Starbucks drink just full out so that Steph doesn't have to because she didn't ask to
I
participate.
know, Steph didn't ask to participate.
Well, neither did Delaney. But if Steph wins, you and I will split her Starbucks.
Sounds good.
And if I win, you're going to pay for mine.
Let's do it.
Which is not out of the normal for Delaney and I. You know what we do? We just take turns buying the Starbucks. But like sometimes like I'll go like 3 times in a row, but then Delaney goes twice in a row. So I'm sure it's somehow
It always
even.
balances out.
I'm sure. Although weirdly enough, I didn't get Starbucks this morning, and you went.
I know, it was like a last minute decision. I wasn't gonna go, and then I saw it, and I was like, I need to pull off the freeway.
And you didn't think like, let me just get something for Haley.
I know.
And that's
like,
it's in that moment I realized we aren't friends.
we are friends. It was just so last minute, and I was like, I don't know if I'm even gonna wait in the line.
But here's what makes it funny. This is what you didn't realize was going on in the newsroom. We were talking about the bike ride tomorrow because we have to get our bikes there. So I was like, okay, Delaney is going to drive me and my bike because I have a sedan. And I was like, oh, she definitely has an SUV. And I was trying to guess what it was. So I was like, well, let me just call her because I knew you'd be on your way in. And I joked, I go, Delaney's not going to answer because she's going to think I'm wanting Starbucks. And so everyone's like, ha, ha, ha. And then you answered and we got the answer. But then you went to Starbucks. You didn't give me anything.
I know. I do feel bad. It was such a last minute call.
Okay, well, maybe I'll get Starbucks if the Bears win. Let me pull up that graphic one more time, just in case you missed it last hour. Again, we've got a nice slate of games for you on Sunday right here at Fox 6. You can tune in as early as 10 a.m. That's when you got your Fox NFL kickoff. 11 a.m., you got your Fox NFL Sunday. Noon, you've got your Bengals at Bills. And then, of course, 3:25, you got the Green Bay Packers playing the Chicago Bears. Special edition of Fox 6 News after the game. 10:30 p.m. Fox 6 Sports Blitz. That's when our sports teams got you covered on everything you might have missed. Okay, I want to take us out to a feed that recently popped up. This is happening live right now. I was going to say in LA, but that actually, it's DC, so I would have lied if I said LA. But we are keeping our eye on this because President Joe Biden is former President Joe Biden is expected to receive Chris Bell Impact Award today at this ceremony for what they're saying is his kind of historic leadership on LGBTQ plus equality. Obviously, right now on stage, the former president is not there. So, not there yet, hasn't accepted the award. We're going to keep our eye, though, on this ceremony and this feed and see if we can bring it to you live on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Otherwise, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with some more Wild for you after this. Stay tuned.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Haley with you this Friday afternoon. Time check for you. It is now 1:46, which means we've got about 45 minutes left together, you and I. Then Sam Kramer is going to take over and get you guys all the way to 3:30. Of course, then Wild will be back for you all next week, starting Monday, 12:30 to 3:30. Catch us every day. Delaney is so excited to be brought in because she has a bet idea that was sent to you by Jenny, one of our coworkers upstairs here at Fox 6.
Yeah, I like this one. She said whoever wins, the other person should wear the opposing team jersey for the day.
Jersey for the day? No.
Yeah, for the day. I even have a Packers one you can borrow.
Here's the problem. I genuinely don't have a Bears jersey, so that's...
Do you have Bears gear?
I have a Bears hat, so could we do a hat?
We could do that.
I think we should... I'm not wearing it for the day.
For the Wisconsin Live Desk.
I can't wear it for the whole live desk. Oh my gosh, I have to wear the whole live desk? How about a block?
2 blocks.
Oh my gosh.
2 blocks to the live desk.
Okay, we will do 2 blocks at the Wisconsin Live Desk. I will either be wearing a Packers hat or Delaney will be wearing a Bears hat.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you know what? We're on opposing teams when it comes to this football game, but we're on the same team. This is a really good transition right now, Delaney. When it comes to the Fox 6 Coats for Kids Drive, wouldn't you agree?
We are.
We are on the same team because it is the 41st year of the Fox 6 Coats for Kids Drive, but time is running out. You only have until Sunday to get those donations in. So, quick reminder for you on the different options you have and ways to give. You can donate brand new winter coats or gently loved winter coats. Just make sure if it's a gently loved winter coat that everything on it is working. The zipper still zips, there's no holes in the pockets, no tears, no stains. We want to make sure we're giving good quality items to kids. We also want to make sure they're truly winter coats. So don't donate, a sweatshirt because that's simply not enough for a Wisconsin winter. You can also donate brand new kind of winter gear accessories, so mittens and scarves and hats. Again, those do all need to be new items for them to be donated. And you can drop them off at any of the 5 Milwaukee area Steinhoffels, at any of the Landmark credit unions, and also at the Salvation Army churches and their distribution center. The other way to donate is by scanning that QR code right there on your screen or by heading to fox6now.com, and you can donate monetarily. So we team up with Operation Warm. They are a great nonprofit that works with retailers and manufacturers to get great deals on coats. So for every $25 you donate, we're able to get a brand new winter coat that would retail for about $61. And they also work with people at Nordstrom and TJ Maxx to make sure that these coats that they're making are what's on trend right now. They want to have the colors that the kids want. They want to have the designs that the kids want. So these are really nice coats that we're able to buy. Again, every $25 you donate gets a brand new coat. You guys have shown up so much for our community, and we are so grateful for that. If you have been waiting to donate, again, time is running out. You have until Sunday to get those donations in, whether that be a physical donation or a monetary donation. And I did really quickly on the Wisconsin Live Desk just want to give a little shout out. So you might remember that I was really excited to move to Milwaukee because my best friends live right here. They live in Franklin. It has been so nice to get to be close to them. And my best friend asked me if there was a way that she helps lead a volleyball club, if we were doing anything that they could help give back to. So I told her all about this Fox 6 Coats for Kids drive, and her volleyball club has been collecting coats the last couple of weeks. Here's a quick look at them. This is the Milwaukee Juniors Volleyball Club, and together they collected 317 coats, which they dropped off earlier today at Steinhoffels. 317 coats. I just feel like that needs another emphasis. That is so amazing. Look at that pile of them right there. We know the need is big this year. We were talking to the Salvation Army yesterday. They talked about how many distribution events they've already had, how quickly the slots are going because people need these coats, and these are going to make such a big difference. I did want to just give a special shout out, she said, to the team that brought in the most coats. So a special shout out to MJV 15 National because they brought in 42 coats as a team, but all in all, 317 is so impressive. So a shout out to all these ladies for joining us, for helping us get those coats. And remember, you can join us as well with the FOX6 Coats for Kids Drive. You got just a couple more days to get those donations in, or to get that monetary donation in as well. But again, it's been so cool to see you all step up and to help us. Online, we've raised so far $53,000. So we can still do more because, as we said, there is definitely a need here in Milwaukee this year. And I did want to mention that if you are somebody watching right now who could use help getting your kids winter coats, and you're wondering, how can I sign up for one of those distribution events? How do I get my hands on these donations? Reach out to the Salvation Army. They will help find you a time slot that works for you and your family. You actually get to bring the kids with you, and your kids get to help pick out the coat that really speaks to them, and then get the accessories. Maybe it's a Spider-Man hat or a Packers hat. Maybe it's a Bears hat. I mean, your child might have exceptional taste, but that's really cool for them to get what they want to wear so they can go to school not only warm, but just a little bit more confident, which studies show help them do better in the classroom as well. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, because then we have another live report coming up out of Milwaukee. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Friday afternoon, where it is now 1:54, and we're going to take just a quick check of the roads here. You can see it's, the middle of the day, so it's not too bad whatsoever. It looks like we've got a little bit of congestion there on 41, kind of near Menominee Falls, as well as a little bit on, I was going to say 94, but I'm not sure that is 94. I don't know. This is why I don't like. That is 94? That's where the ballpark is. So that's because of construction. They have reduced lanes right now, right there. I was going to say, it's actually why I don't like doing traffic during Wake Up. I'm not the best with the roads. But speaking of traffic, we do have a little bit of an update to traffic, which is why I want to go ahead and bring in our very own Abril Preciado, who is currently braving the elements right now as she works on this story for us. But this is, I think, something a lot of our viewers are going to want to know about. The 16th Street Bridge fully closing to traffic. Abril, what do we got to know here?
Hey guys, how's it going? So yes, just like you mentioned, the 16th Street is now fully closed. As you guys can see right behind me, we are seeing some barriers that are stopping traffic and pretty much blocking off the road and traffic from going into the bridge. It's right here. So it starts off from 16th Street all the way to Pierce Street, and it is fully closed. I know previously a portion of the bridge was closed. Well, now it's fully closed. As you can see, it's just completely empty. You do kind of see from here, from my viewpoint, I think you guys can kind of see as like Eddie, our photographer, kind of zooms over there. There's a couple people that are walking through there, but you just see it completely empty. And this is part of what DPW is saying. The reason why it is closing, or why it is why they decided to close it, is because they found that during an inspection and after evaluation that it needs some repairs. So this is what we are seeing right now. We're still trying to find out the time frame for how long this closure will be taking place, because as you guys can see, it is in an area that usually uses it a lot. A lot of traffic actually goes through there. Right now we are going to see possibly what looks like an Amazon truck kind of going down towards this road. I'm not sure if they were planning to use that street, but yeah, usually like a lot of people are, from what we've been seeing right now in the past couple of in the time that we've been out here, we've just been seeing a couple of cars kind of either bumping into it and kind of being surprised and then trying to find their way around it. So that's kind of what we have been seeing throughout our time out here. We did speak to a couple of businesses around here as well, and many of them do tell us that it is that they were already feeling the impact with the not with the temporary closure, but with the closure that was already instilled before with part of the bridge. But now with it fully being closed, they are kind of bracing themselves with it, and the bigger hit that it would have on their businesses. So that's pretty much what we have been working on right now. Once again, since obviously due to weather, not a lot of activity is happening over here with pedestrian traffic, but we have seen a lot of cars here, a lot of vehicular traffic passing by through here, because once again, it is a road and it is a street that constantly uses it, just like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, absolutely, Brill. This fully closed as of this morning, so I'm sure there are a lot of drivers who are pulling up, didn't know it would be closed, and are now looking for an alternative way to get to their destination. I'm curious, do you happen to know the best kind of detour that we should be taking while this is closed?
So right now we actually did ask, we reached out to DPW, and they said that they're still working on alternative routes that folks can go through. I know from what people that we spoke to tell us is that there's other ways, but obviously it's frustrating for many people in the area that typically or regularly, I would say, use this road, because they say that like what would normally take about 5 minutes just to cross will now possibly take them 15 or 10 minutes. And that's frustrating for some people, because they're like, well, now I guess I have to like either leave a lot earlier in order to get to my destination. And that's also another factor that plays into what some of the businesses also were telling us, that since Potawatomi is just down this road and down the bridge, as you guys can see, many of them said that it was just like an easy drive out here for them to come to their business to either get liquor or to get or to come and grab a bite. Now many of them that may stop them from coming over here, because that would mean that they would have to go either around, taking the longer route, which would take about maybe 15 to 10 minutes longer just to get over here on this side or on the other side of the bridge. So that's pretty much another factor of the frustration that many folks have out here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's so smart, Abril, that you talk to some of these businesses nearby, because I'm sure they are suffering from this closure. I mean, when I'm out and about and I'm driving and I stumble upon something like this, sometimes it's just too much of a headache and I say, forget it, I'm just going to go home. And now they've lost out on that business. So I'm sure their number one question is what you already asked, which is about the timeline for how long this will be closed. Again, we don't have that answer just yet, but Abril was kind of trying to effort that information. Abril, before I let you go, when can we catch your full story on Fox Local?
Yes, so you guys can catch us on 4, at 5, and at 6 p.m. We'll be out here kind of giving you guys kind of a glimpse of what we're seeing. You guys will also be hearing from those businesses and even folks that we came across with today that told us about, their thoughts about the bridge being closed. Once again, people use it regularly. This is usually part of their commute or just to get around. They've just adopted it. I've adopted it too because I come out here to grocery shop in the south side in LA, which is like a few maybe blocks away from here. And so I'm like, oh wow, this is gonna affect me when I come grocery shopping later on this weekend. So obviously a huge impact on everyone. And so yeah, you guys will be hearing that later on today.
Absolutely. Abril, thank you so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk today. Stay warm.
Thank you.
Again, if you're just joining us, Abril's story that she's working on today is about the 16th Street Bridge, which is now fully closed. It used to be partially closed. Now it is fully closed to traffic. That started today, so you might not have known about this. Again, I guess DPW is working on getting us the best detour route as well as hopefully a timeline for how long this bridge is going to be closed. But the reason why this happened was during an inspection, crews noted that part of the bridge would actually need further evaluation and potential repair. So that is why it's now fully closed for those repairs, for that evaluation to be done in depth. Obviously, a bit of a headache. It sounds like everybody Abril talked to was frustrated, from commuters to drivers to pedestrians to the businesses nearby. But at the kind of, crux of it all is the priority of safety and making sure that bridge is safe to drive on. So she's still efforting some of those answers from DPW, so I would definitely try and catch her story later on Fox Local. Again, 4, 5, and 6 is when you can catch Abril. I just want to remind you, too, some things we're keeping our eye on here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. At some point, it seems like whatever presentation was happening just ended. You could see the audience kind of moving around there. This is in D.C. It is at the LGBTQ plus Victory Institute, but we are expecting to potentially see former President Joe Biden on stage at some point. That is because the LGBTQ Victory Institute is going to be presenting Joe Biden with the Chris Abil Impact Award, which they say is to honor his historic role in championing LGBTQ plus rights and for his leadership in achieving the most inclusive administration in U.S. history. Again, that is all according to the LGBTQ plus Victory Institute. When we caught this feed, there were some people on stage chatting. We are told that President Biden is going to be there for this award ceremony. He's the third recipient to receive it. So we'll keep our eye on it and see if we can catch it. I'm trying to see if there's any times here, but it just says that it'll be at some point Friday. So we'll keep our eye right there on that feed and let you know when President Biden, former President Biden, takes to the stage. Delaney, I feel like we should go ahead and do question of the day. What do you think?
Let's do it.
I'm waiting for the day where you just go, no. I'm not feeling that, Haley. I don't think that's what we should do.
One of these days.
One of these days. Okay, so I think today is Delaney's day. It is National Blue Jeans Day. What you guys probably don't know about Delaney, because you're always seeing her sitting, is that she has the best denim collection ever. I see you in your jeans, and I love them. They look so good on you. You get the best styles. So, happy Delaney Day is what I'm renaming National Blue Jeans Day. But I guess favorite style of jean and favorite place to buy them, Delaney?
I think my favorite styles are a straight leg jean or a mom jean. I usually get my jeans from Abercrombie. Also, sometimes The Gap.
I've never heard of anybody say The Gap. That was amazing. I just call it Gap. The Gap. You're probably right, but that's so funny to me.
I think it is Gap now.
The Gap. I was going to say this, but it's not going to make sense because you're also short. How tall are you?
5'2".
Yeah, so I was going to say, so it doesn't work. I was going to say, I'm 5'3". I've always wanted to have a really good pair of mom jeans, but every time I try them on, I am drowning in them. Because I'm so short, that I'm well, I guess maybe we could still be different, because you might have longer legs than me, even though you're 5'2". But I just feel like I have to have skinny jeans. That's the only thing that looks normal on me. But I did just buy a new pair from Abercrombie at your suggestion, which I'm going to try. I feel like it's a little out of my comfort zone, but I think it looked okay. But yeah, I really like Good American, which is Khloe Kardashian's denim line.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried those.
Oh, they're good. we were talking about Khloe Kardashian's popcorn line earlier today. Good American is like, I think, a good quality denim. It's very inclusive to all sizes. I also have had a Madewell pair, but I bought the wrong style for me, so I just don't love them, but it's not Madewell's fault, it's my fault. So hopefully this new pair I got from Abercrombie during Black Friday turns out to be something I can rock.
I know, I hope you'll end up liking them.
I really do. Okay, should we do question, or true or false?
Yeah, let's do it.
She was like, we're already doing question of the day, Haley. True or false? Jeans were originally called waist overalls. Makes sense if you think about it. I do feel like overalls probably came before jeans. I do believe that in my heart of hearts. So therefore, waist overalls would make sense because you're just missing the top portion of it. But that's so funny of an idea. But I also just don't think Delaney would come up with that on her own, so I have to go true.
This one is true because they were worn over clothes for work, but instead of like overalls with a bib, they just stopped at the waist.
Yeah. Worn over clothes, so you still weren't just wearing them as jeans. You were you had something on underneath it?
You had something on underneath. And they were for work.
Interesting. That is so funny. Like, hey, do you want to get a new pair of waist overalls? I kind of like it. I mean, it's a mouthful instead of just saying jeans, but I'm here for it.
I know, I agree. I kind of like it. A little weird.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I do feel like, also, just as a side note, I really feel like the overalls have come back in recent years.
Oh, they definitely have.
Like, I bought, not pant versions, but like like they're shorts, but they're overalls. Oh, Delaney does this thing sometimes where she starts talking to other people who are in the back room.
Cute, I like that.
What did I even say, Delaney?
You bought overalls that were shorts.
Okay, that is correct. I was going to call her out for not listening to me, but I guess
No, I just accidentally hit the wrong button.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. I was talking and then talking to nobody.
I look over at the camera and I see. So I thought you were talking to somebody at the door.
No, I was talking to you. I just held down the wrong button.
I understand. I understand. All right. Well, that was an excellent question of the day. We'll be back with question of the day Monday. I think I went 2 for 2, or did I go 3 for 3? I must have gone 3 for 3 because I know we did it Wednesday, and we certainly had time for it yesterday.
I think it's 3 for 3.
That's because 90% of the time, Delaney goes with true.
I know I do.
It's a pattern that I've caught on to.
You have.
Yeah. It's pretty good. All right, Delaney, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk Summerfest, because there's a pretty exciting announcement we got to get to here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Oh, yeah. I'll get that ready.
You take us to break so we can quickly get to our Summerfest announcement.
We'll be back after this short break.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk on your Friday afternoon. It is now 2:10, which means I've got about 20 minutes left with you. And then Sam Kramer will take over and get you guys to 3:30 before y'all head into the weekend. And of course, we'll be back with some more Wild on Monday. I've been trying to toss out Wild more on air because that's what we call the Wisconsin Live Desk, lovingly behind the scenes. So if you missed it, I'll explain why we do it. It's the W right here, the I, and then this is such a brain game to do it backwards, L-D. Wild. So I'm going to try and reference it. It's a little bit shorter than saying Wisconsin Live Desk every time. And sometimes it's a wild time. We never know where we're going to go. Quickly, we're going to head back to D.C. We've been watching our eyes, keeping our eyes kind of tuned to this stage. This is at the LGBTQ plus Victory Institute in D.C. They're having a leaders conference, but former President Biden is expected to receive the Chris Abeel Impact Award at some point. He should be there in person to receive it on stage. So we're keeping our eyes peeled there. And of course, we will bring it to you as soon as he is there. The other thing I wanted to update you on that sadly we're not going to get to today, we were hoping to talk to the Milwaukee Ballet about the Nutcracker, which opens tomorrow. They were unable to join us last minute, but we are working on getting them back for next week so we can talk all things ballet and Nutcracker, because there is something about like sugar plum fairies that just scream December and scream the holiday season. I absolutely love getting to see that. Speaking of the holiday season, I want to remind you of what you can do next Saturday. The holiday drone show will be on the Milwaukee lakefront. It will be at the Veterans Park there, 5 p.m., completely free to see. From everything that I've ever seen of drone shows online and on like TikTok and Instagram, they look so cool. So I highly recommend going out and seeing this holiday drone show if you're able. And then once you're done, get in your car and drive to the Panthers Arena to see the Milwaukee Admirals game. They're taking on the Chicago Wolves, and Delaney and I are going to be there handing out rally towels on FOX6 night. So you can come say hi, get a rally towel. Delaney and I will be charging $5. No, I'm just kidding. They're completely free, but it would be a good way for us to make some money, Delaney, if we wanted to.
It would be, but they will be free.
They're completely free, and you can say hi, and then we're going to actually go watch the game, because we talk to the Milwaukee Admirals every Tuesday, so it'll be kind of cool to get to see them in action on the ice.
I know, I'm excited.
And I know I am a Chicago girly, but I'll be cheering for the Admirals.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
This is exciting.
I told you, it's all about compromise, you guys. So I'm not willing to compromise my Cubs loyalties and my Bears loyalties, but I am a Milwaukee Bucks fan as of this season. I gave you my basketball allegiance, and I'll cheer for the Milwaukee Admirals over the Chicago Wolves. You got it.
It's good compromise. I like it.
Right? Because there are so many things about Milwaukee to love, and I love Milwaukee. And one thing I cannot wait to get to experience next summer, Summerfest. Everyone talks about it. And Delaney, I'm actually going to leave this announcement all up to you, because we are so excited that one of your Spotify Wrapped top artists is now officially coming to Summerfest. Delaney, I'm going to give you a drum roll because you have to hold down your microphone. Drum roll.
I know, I'm excited. Megan Maroney is coming to Summerfest.
Go, you're the anchor right here. You got this.
She'll be at the American Family Amphitheater on Thursday, June 18th.
How excited are you? Like, I feel like you're genuinely getting tickets to this.
No, I'm going to try to get tickets for this, for sure.
Are you signing up for the pre-sale?
Of course.
So those go on sale next Friday, December 12th. Delaney, I'm going to run us through the lineup that is now out. We're still waiting for, I think, an act or two to be announced. But here's what we know. We have Garth Brooks, Megan Maroney, Ed Sheeran, Post Malone, who's, I think they're with Carter Faith, Muse, Alex Warren, Louis Tomlinson, Russell Dickerson. This is a great lineup.
It really is, and they do have something for everybody.
But it's also crazy because Alex Warren was on Carl Deffenbaugh's Spotify Wrapped.
Was he really?
Yeah, that was one of his top artists. Russell Dickerson's song Happen to Me was on my Spotify Wrapped, and now your Megan Maroney was obviously your Spotify Wrapped. Like, we're all getting so lucky with Summerfest guests.
Wait, we really are.
Okay, so you have to pick, we'll do the AmFam Amphitheater, and then the festival, like I think it's BMO. So let's start with AmFam Amphitheater, which is Garth Brooks, Megan Maroney, Ed Sheeran, Post Malone, Carter Faith, Muse, Alex Warren. Who are you the most excited for?
I think Megan Maroney.
I would say, I feel like if you say anything else, you're lying. it's definitely got to be Megan Maroney for you.
Yeah, definitely is. What about you?
Of those ones, I'm going to go Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
It's
honest.
going to be a good one.
I've never heard a Megan Maroney song in my life, so I'm going to have to go. Can you send me some recommendations?
I'll send you a couple, yeah.
Yeah, because we'll have to definitely get there. Also, Joe Biden just stepped up to the stage. So between Louis Tomlinson and Russell Dickerson, tied. One Direction girly, and I love Russell Dickerson as well.
I think I'm Louis Tomlinson.
But you're going to see Russell Dickerson with me because you promised.
Of course.
Okay, good. All right, Delaney, we're going to go back out to D.C. There is former President Biden accepting his award. So let us turn up the sound and we'll listen in. Watch us together.
I'm honored to receive the award in your name. In your name. And I'm accepting this award knowing it's a recognition of all the work we've done. Michael, thank you for your, and especially your thanks to David, who supported me. Supported the Victory Fund, but supported me long before that all occurred. Folks, I also want to recognize so many friends that are here today. Where's Mo Vella? Mo, where are you? There you go, Mo. You know, we're doing this for a long time, Mo and I've relied on his advice throughout my career, particularly when I was vice president. I knew which direction to go.
And I love you just as much as them.
Thank you. Next week marks 3 years. 3 years since many of us stood on a crisp day in the South Lawn of the White House, where I signed the Respect for Marriage Act. Folks, as the ceremony came to an end, the sun began to set. Rainbow lights lit up the portico of the White House. You know, the moment had an air of celebration, but also, quite frankly, for me and many of you, I expect, an air of relief. Relief. Finally, through the hard work, faith, counsel, sheer grit of folks like you in this room and so many who came before you, the momentous battle was finally won. Finally. And look, today, though, we know there's much more work to do. And the challenges ahead can feel daunting, particularly in the face of everything we're seeing coming out of this reactionary White House. You know, we're all here today for the same reason. Same reason. It's all because we believe in the power of our democracy to pull the nation together. You know, our worst moments, actually, we're the only country in the world that's gone through every crisis and come out stronger than we went into the crisis. Every time. America's the only country. Also is founded on an idea. We're unique, not a joke. It's not just, you know, it's true. We're the only country founded on idea. Every other country in the world is founded on geographic boundaries, religion, ethnicity. But we're an idea. A strong idea. It's stronger and more powerful than any dictator or any army. And that in America, we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. All deserve to be treated with dignity and throughout their lives. And all of us, each and every one of us, deserves that. That's how I was raised. That's how many of you were raised, I guess, too. We've never lived up to that idea, though, but we've never walked away from it. We've never walked away from it either. And so you've heard me say before that when I was growing up, whenever something bad happened, I used to be a stutterer and people made a lot of fun of you, a lot of other things. My dad would look at me and say, Joey, just get up. Get up, Joey. Get up. Well, folks, that's my message to all of us today. To all who love our country. To all of us who are dismayed by the present state of the Union. This is no time to give up. It's time to get up. Get up and fight back. Get up. Continue to fight. And what's the fight all about? It's not high praise. It's about protecting the Constitution. It's about protecting the Constitution. Some of you are old enough to remember back in 2012, I went on Meet the Press. Got myself in a bit of trouble. but good trouble. You know, I just couldn't remain silent anymore. We had this whole plan to let things, anyway. I told the truth. I expressed my support for gay marriage a little earlier than some folks had been expecting it. Well, that comment got all the attention. I also told another story during that interview. I've been speaking a few weeks earlier, and there was a group of LGBTQ leaders in a private home. And during the Q&A period, and I was in that home, a gentleman stood up and said, "Mr. Vice President, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about us?" That's the way he said it. I turned to the gay couple who owned the house. I looked at both of them. I said, "What did I do first when I walked in the door of your home?" And they both said, "You walked right up to our 2 children." And I turned to the person asking the question. I said to those children, "I wish every American, I mean this is from the bottom of my heart, I wish every American could have seen the love in the eyes of these 2 young boys for their dads. It was palpable. You could feel it. Because if they did see that, they'd never have any doubt about what this is all about." Folks, a lot has gotten lost in all the noise with terms like DEI and being weaponized and people's basic identity turned into political football. Right now, in no small part because of the vitriol of this in our national debate, there are young people sitting alone at home as I speak, literally, behind closed doors, scrolling through social media, staring at the ceiling, literally wondering whether they've talked, you are, and I've talked to many of these young men and women, wondering whether will they ever be loved, will they ever marry, will they ever have a family, ever truly be accepted for who they are. So my message to young people is this: just be you. Be who you are. You are loved. You're heard, and you increasingly understand you belong. You belong, you belong, you belong. I mean it. Things are changing. Folks, Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans are trying to distort and derail our fight for equality. They're trying to turn it into something scary, something sinister. But folks, it's really not about anything that's all that complicated. At its core, it's about making every American, giving them the opportunity to be treated with basic decency, dignity, and respect they all deserve. That's what every single American deserves, every American. This administration is trying to use those issues as a wedge to further divide the country. But there's nothing more American than the notion of equality. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And folks, it's a struggle as old as the country's founder. That's why many of us are in this room today. We also know that the fight ahead is about more than equality. It's about opportunity. It's about opportunity. It's about making sure every American has a chance to make a decent living. It's about having equal access to quality health care, make it affordable. It's about, they can pay any rent, send their kids to college, pay for the grocery bills. It's about making sure every American can come home at the end of the day, look their kid in the eye, and say, "Honey, it's going to be okay. It's that basic. It is that basic. You've heard me say before, my dad used to say, it's all about, can you look your child in the eye and say, it's going to be okay. That's what we worked so damn hard to do during my administration. In those 4 years, we created 16 million new jobs. Unemployment dropped to a 50-year low. We lowered the price of everything from health care to cost of college to junk fees and airline tickets and credit cards. We made a lot of progress. We had so much more we had to do to make life affordable for every American. And it's this work that's motivated so many of you to step up, put your name on the ballot, and run for office. LGBT candidates across the country running not only to ensure equality for every American.
All right, if you are just joining us, we've been listening here to former President Joe Biden receiving the Impact Award here at the LGBTQ Victory Institute. We are going to leave this up and continue to listen to his speech. But I just wanted to sign off. Sam Kramer is over there in the wings, and he's got you from here. I'll get you to 3:30. But we'll go back and listen to President Biden.
In order to make life better for every American. It's going to take character. It's going to take courage. So please join me today in thanking all the candidates elected to office here today. And please stand up, candidates. Stand up. Thank you. Think of what you've done. I know I look like I'm only 40 years old. I know that. I've been doing this job for 51 years. If I made that same comment in this room, and I've spoken in this room that many years ago, made that same comment in this room 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, I've been thrown out of here. Not a joke. Well, when I took office, I promised to have an administration that looked like America. I've kept my promise. And not just for the community, but my press secretary, Kareem. My head personnel, Goodman, is here. I don't know if he's here or not. There you are, man. Stand up. Oh, I see Kareem. There you are. Along with many others who served in my administration. You all worked on issues that went far beyond equality for the LGBTQ community. With your help, we accomplished much, not just in this community, but all across to create opportunity for everybody. My dad, really, all kidding aside, my dad was a really decent, honorable man, a well-read guy. And my dad would say, Joey, everybody deserves a shot, no guarantee, but everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves a shot. So again, please join me in thanking all those who work for my administration and continue to work in government. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me close with this. Sorry, I'm taking too long here. I apologize. Folks, America's not a fairy tale. For 250 years, there's been a constant push and pull, an existential struggle between peril and possibility. We're not guaranteed a fairy tale ending, but I believe the America of our dreams is always closer than we think. I know I'm characterized as an eternal optimist, but I am. You know, my friend, Congresswoman Sarah McBride, what a kid. She used to work for my son, Bo, who passed away because of what happened in Iraq. He was Attorney General. She worked for him. And he used to have to protect her, go out of his way. Well, she wanted to be here today, but she's giving an important speech at my alma mater, the University of Delaware. You know, Sarah talks about, quote, doing the hard work of persuasion. And in these times, which can be dispiriting and even hurtful, Sarah says, hope. Quoting her, hope is a conscious choice. You have to summon it. You have to summon it. It's not automatic. Friends, we are one of the only countries in the world that time and again has come out of every crisis stronger than we entered into that crisis. I still believe, emerging from the many crises caused by this administration, as we have constantly, nonetheless, come out stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. We just have to get up. As long as we keep the faith, summon hope, and get back up and remember who in the hell we are. We're the United States of America. That's who we are. We're the U.S. And there's nothing, I mean it sincerely, there's nothing beyond our capacity in America when we act together. So let's work together. Let's keep this fight going. Let's win it together. Now, not tomorrow, now. Thank you. God bless you all. And may God protect our troops. Sorry it took so long. I'm so damn proud of all of you. No, I really am. I'm proud of your courage. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Every time I'd walk out of my grandfather Finnegan's house, his granddad yelled, Joey, keep the faith. My grandmother, no, Joey, spread it. Let's spread it. Thank you.
Okay, hi everybody. Sam Kramer here checking in with you on Hour 3 of the Wisconsin Live Desk. You have been watching the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden, receiving the Chris Abele Impact Award. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it's because it should. Chris Abele, the former Milwaukee County executive, a very well-connected philanthropist, businessman here in Milwaukee County, also very connected to the arts, and has been a longtime advocate of the LGBTQ plus community. So interesting Milwaukee connection there, and that award is given by the LGBTQ Victory Institute to award people that are championing advocate causes for the LGBTQ plus community. They are crediting, the Institute is crediting President Joe Biden for what they say is achieving the most LGBTQ plus inclusive administration in U.S. history. And listening to some of the language there, definitely painting the picture of contrast with the the prominent placement of LGBTQ plus issues in his agenda versus that of the current president, 47th President Donald Trump. So perhaps not surprising language there, given the political nature of, well, frankly, just about everything these days in our country, right? But yeah, interesting Milwaukee and Wisconsin connections there on this Friday afternoon that was happening in the Washington, D.C. area. So let's reset a little bit. It is Friday, December 5th. Sam Kramer here with you on Hour 3 of the Wisconsin Live Desk. So glad that you are with us. We're tracking a number of things today, a lot of local stories. Of course, the weather is prominent with just how chilly it has been. We're going to hear from Stephanie Barrichello coming up. We're going to take a look at some big events that are happening this weekend, both just entertainment, Christmas-driven type of events. I believe we're going to hear from the Village of Greendale on an event that they have that begins tonight. Certainly an exciting one at that. Of course, we got to talk Packers. They have a massive game, biggest game of the season, that you can only see on Fox 6. That's coming up on Sunday. And what also just happened over the last couple of hours, the biggest sporting event in the world, actually, the FIFA World Cup. If you missed it, it is coming to the United States. It's actually just coming to North America as a whole. The United States, Mexico, and Canada are splitting that. They expanded the number of countries that are going to be able to send teams to this year's event. And they just came out with the groups, as in the pool play schedule that will happen there. And the United States has a very favorable group, which is, if you're a soccer fan and you want to see the U.S. go far, that's good news. They should do well. But, of course, what happens on paper doesn't always happen in real life. So we're going to take a look at that as well over the next hour. Again, we're with you until 3:30. So let's step away. When we come back, let's take a look at what's happening this weekend. You're watching the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hello, everybody. Sam Kramer back with you on hour 3 of the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Friday, December 5th, and as I look down at the calendar on the computers here, I feel like that's almost hard to believe. Maybe not with the snow that we've seen outside. But hey, it's here. We're in the last month of the year, racing toward the end of the year, which means there's a lot of important sports stories going on. Of course, here at Fox, we have a ton of live sports. We love them. And the biggest of them all, if you're looking at overall impact, has to be the FIFA World Cup, which is going to be broadcast on Fox next summer. So earlier today, in the U.S., FIFA actually unveiled the groups. So it's an expanded tournament this year. There are normally 32 countries. They've expanded it to 48 teams. And as we look at that, here's the groups as they are. The big one to circle is Group D. Why? Because that's the United States group. So there they are. They're ranked 14th in FIFA's worldwide national team rankings. Paraguay is ranked 39th. Australia ranked 26th. And then, see how it says the winner of Playoff C. There are 4 teams that could be there: Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo. So if you're not a just die-hard sports soccer fan, oh, that's interesting. You can see my head in the background. I never really noticed that before. All right, let's come back to me. Yeah, that's a good news for the United States. That the top 2 teams out of each group will advance, and because it's an expanded tournament, some of the third-place teams in those groups will advance as well. We are about 6 months away. The World Cup kicks off on June 11th. So yeah, almost 6 months to the day. Again, that's going to be on Fox. It'll be at sites across the U.S. So New York City, Miami, Atlanta, Kansas City, Seattle are among the host sites, playing mostly in NFL stadiums where they're going to replace some of that turf with natural grass, so that it's better for all of the competitors. But also there'll be matches played in Canada and in Mexico. It's the first time that a host, the host duties per se, have been shared amid 3 countries, and perhaps that's why they expanded this group. So that's really good news. I mean, obviously, every U.S. game, being that it'll be played in North America, will be well attended. It's good news to see that the team could perhaps go far. Of course, that's the hope for every American soccer fan, given that they haven't really advanced past the quarterfinals of a FIFA World Cup in history. All right, let's hone it back into this weekend. If you are watching us here on Fox Local, chances are you are from Wisconsin. If you're not, drop me an email. It's sam.kramer. You see my last name there at fox.com. Let us know where you're watching from, because I'm always curious. But the big story that a lot of us are going to be paying attention to is the Packers. And let's take a live look at Lambeau Field, snow-covered. See the Lombardi statue down over there. Frankly, this is the type of game that Lambeau Field was built to host. The best team in the NFC right now, I can't even believe I'm saying that, but I'm going to repeat it once more. The best team in the NFC, the Chicago Bears. You guys can't see, but Delaney, our producer, is smiling and laughing. Delaney, are you a Bears fan?
I am not. I'm a Packers fan.
Okay, just to be clear. Okay. I think Haley's a Bears fan. Yeah, I heard that right.
Yeah, Haley's a Bears fan.
That's too bad. Nevertheless, the Bears, the best team, I believe the record's 9-3. Packers, 8-3-1 or something like that. So this game is going to decide who is going to take over the top spot in the NFC North, likely the top spot in the NFC as a conference as a whole, which is huge when it comes for playoff seeding. Now, it's not just this game. These 2 teams will play again in 2 weeks after, on Sunday Night Football over on NBC, but this game tonight will be on our air, excuse me, not tonight, on Sunday night. So let's take a look at that. So Sunday on Fox 6, we've got you covered. Fox NFL kickoff starts at 10, then at 11 it's Fox NFL Sunday. At noon, you're going to see the Bengals at the Bills, as because Fox flexed this game that is moving it from its original scheduling slot to a primetime spot. It is America's Game of the Week. The Packers and the Bears, 3:25 kickoff. We will have a special edition of FOX6 News right after the game. It'll probably be about, 6:30 or so. And then the regular newscasts to follow, as well as the 10:30 FOX6 Sports Blitz. That is when Tim, Lily, and Brandon just really unload the reporter notebooks and really break everything down. If you haven't watched it, it's a great program where they can really dive into depth on everything that happened in that game. I always find it really fascinating because they see things, especially Tim. Tim goes to every game. He's with the team in Green Bay several days during the week. He would be better served to just almost get an apartment up there with the amount of time he spends in and around Lambeau Field with the Packers. But being so connected and being at the stadium for every single game, he sees a lot of things that maybe those of us that just watch on TV and maybe follow on Twitter don't get to see. So he just picks things up, and of course his interviews with the players after the game are great. Lily has been well connected, Brandon too. It's just a well-oiled machine. They know everything about this team, and they're certainly going to have a full 30 minutes, 35-minute show to talk about everything there as well. One other thing that's happening this weekend in connections to local sports would be the Brewers Clubhouse sale. And if you are a Milwaukee regular, you know this. It's a well-attended event that happens the first weekend of December about every single year. It's when the Brewers open things up. It's held actually within the Visitors Clubhouse. So even if you don't go to purchase anything, it is still a good opportunity to go and see a space that you're not normally going to see. So all weekend long, today, tomorrow, Sunday, it's open from 8 until 6. Again, it's in the Visitors Clubhouse there, so it would be along the third baseline, kind of over by the X-Golf side of American Family Field, if you are familiar with that. It's a left field line. Up to 80% off all merchandise, includes some game-used items and other things as well. I saw some photos. They might, keyword might, be selling that new powder blue road alternate jersey that they unveiled yesterday. If they aren't, I feel like that's probably a missed marketing opportunity, so I'm going to give it Brewers benefit of the doubt there. I'm willing to bet that they are. Important to note, though, again, this runs through Sunday. It is cashless, which is kind of standard now at American Family Field. Everything is digital, so just be prepared for that. But if you have a Brewers fan, diehard Brewers fan in your life, kids, cousins, your father, etc., this is a great opportunity to get them a special gift if you haven't done so already. You know, a lot of people always walk out of there with their arms full of merchandise, and it's a good way to get something that maybe you didn't think you'd be able to get, or just a really cool game-used piece of memorabilia like jerseys, hats, batting gloves, etc. So many things to get there. All right, we got you covered for the sports of the weekend. When we come back, we're going to check in with the weather expert, Stephanie Barrichello, about what to expect. Certainly our weather office has been a little busy over the last couple of days and really the last week or so, getting back to that mega snowstorm. That's not an official term. It's just what I'm going to say, mega snowstorm from last weekend. And feel like they're always kind of busy, right? Even when it's nice out, people will have a bunch of questions. But boy, they have been busy with the early start of winter here by Wisconsin standards. That was the end of November. So we're going to check in with Steph about what to expect this weekend. There is a little bit more snow in the forecast. We'll get you covered on that right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
It's 2:48 on your Friday. I'm Sam Kramer. Thanks so much for watching the Wisconsin Live Desk here on Fox Local. So glad that so many of you have found our new bright, shiny toy here at Fox 6, which we have really come to enjoy. It really allows us to connect with viewers in a number of ways, cover things with more time. It's not so confined to the traditions of a normal newscast, and allows us to really dive into depth on things, whether it be sports, whether it be breaking news, or whether it be the weather. And with that, let's bring in weather expert Stephanie Bark. Hello, Steph, can you hear me?
Hello, I can. Can
Excellent.
you hear me?
I can. Happy
Good.
Friday to you.
Same to you.
We were just saying before the break, you guys have had a busy week,
yeah.
perhaps last weekend, and just kind of, never really recovering, right, energy-wise. But how are we looking for this weekend? I understand that there's perhaps another snow chance coming.
Yeah, honestly, Sam, we still have a very active forecast all the way into the end of next week. I mean, winter lovers, this is your type of forecast. Today, not as cold as yesterday.
Okay.
That's been a plus, although still a little windy, so that does, still factor in the wind chill. We have some flurries rolling in right now. So first chance for some light snow is going to be this afternoon and evening. That wraps up early, though. So after about 10 o'clock tonight, that's gone. Saturday's dry, and then Sunday morning we'll have another batch of potentially some accumulating snow. Right now it looks like about 1 to 3 inches. Then we'll have to watch Tuesday and Wednesday for maybe some wintry mix as temperatures climb above freezing. For the first time, we've gone 5 days below freezing, and again, it's going to continue until Tuesday, so that'll be a long stretch. And then it looks like Thursday, another chance for some snow. So you get the picture. We've got a very active forecast still. When it comes to temperatures, we are warmer right now than yesterday, at least when we look at air temperatures. With the wind, which has been about 10 to 15 miles per hour today, we still feel about 10 degrees cooler, but overall it is a little better than yesterday. Most of us a good 10 to 15 degrees higher than this time yesterday. Now going forward, we're still going to hold steady. So more of these middle and upper 20s through about midnight tonight, if not even into our early morning hours Saturday. But a cold front is expected to move through, and we will likely see temperatures in some spots dropping to teens by tomorrow morning. I do think Milwaukee will drop to about 20 by tomorrow morning, so we will see kind of a rapid drop once that cold front moves through. But you can see that for our evening and late night hours, we're still going to maintain some of these middle and upper 20s. So staying warmer, we'll call it, until the cold front moves through. Wind chills will still be in the teens, though, and potentially even single digits for a time early tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon's high temperatures will still be back in the 20s. So thankfully, no major drops expected like we saw yesterday. We're still looking at 20s and even some 30s in the extended forecast. Now, this is the view out west near Dodgeville. You can't even really tell, but it's flurrying right now. So we have this area of snow showing up on radar, but it is very light. It's been a little more steady in parts of Minnesota as well as northeastern Iowa, so not a ton out west just yet. It's also extending up north into Green Bay. I've been watching their cameras off and on through the last couple of hours. Again, just some flurries and light snow, so I think it looks a lot more ominous on radar than what it actually is. We still have a lot of dry air, so that's going to eat away at the storm system, keeping our snow chances pretty light. Not even really expecting much in the way of accumulation as this pushes through. We are looking at the potential for maybe a little bit of freezing drizzle out of this too later this evening. I think primarily it will be flurries and light snow, but just the slight chance to see a period of just a little bit of this freezing here or there, especially on elevated surfaces. We may end up seeing a little bit of that. Not going to be a widespread issue, but I think because we have so much dry air within this, it may actually eat away at the snowflake. We may just get the ice crystal as that falls from the sky. So interesting concept. I know we've got a little bit of a warm-up today, not quite to freezing, but yes, there is just a very slight chance we see a mix of some freezing drizzle in there later on tonight. I would say just be cautious as you're traveling this evening, even with the light snow. So showing you this just to show you how in and out it's going to be. Scattered light snow showers, maybe a little bit of that freezing drizzle through about 10 o'clock tonight. Then we're going to dry out, eventually see clouds decreasing and a little bit of sunshine throughout Saturday. Bulk of Saturday is dry, but then once we cross into Saturday night, maybe after 10 p.m., that's when we'll see our next batch of snow moving through. So these are two quick clipper systems that are going to be moving in. This one a little bit more substantial, still ending very quickly. I think by the time we're waking up Sunday morning, most of it will be out of our area, but there is the chance to see about 1 to 3 inches of accumulation out of that system. So I think we'll be shoveling Sunday morning before we're heading out for the day. Not expecting much accumulation with what we see this evening. Maybe a coating to a dusting up north, maybe a few tenths of an inch, but not expecting much out of that. Different story again for Sunday. Still not a huge snowfall by any means. In our area, we are looking at about 1 to 3 inches, but as you get farther towards the west, higher totals are expected. So we're going to watch this storm system pretty closely. There's actually a winter storm warning right now in Iowa for potentially 4 to 8 inches worth of snowfall. Southwest Wisconsin could see closer to 2 to 4 inches worth of snowfall, and it's expected to weaken as it moves eastward. So some slightly lower totals for us, but we'll watch this one a little closer because it is likely to bring in higher snowfall totals just towards the west of us, and then especially westward into parts of Minnesota and Iowa. But for now, 2 more chances. I won't show you the 6th day yet. You got to wait for the news for that. But 2 more chances for a little bit of that light snow. And as we mentioned earlier, Sam, too, I mean, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe some wintry mix. Thursday, maybe another chance for some snow. So we're not really letting down when it comes to these quick hitting storm systems. At this point, we'll just have to watch those temperatures because right now it looks like maybe some low, even mid 30s Tuesday, Wednesday. And that's the reason why we could at some point see a changeover to more of that rain snow mix. So just a messier type storm system as we get to the middle portion of next week.
I have to imagine these hardware stores or anyone that does repairs on snowblowers is thinking, you know what, this is great. Because let's remember the last winter, there was hardly anything.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, we're just getting blasted early and often, it appears. Just while you have that sky vision up, you said stronger to the west. Thinking about Green Bay come Sunday, right, with Packers Bears. Is it looks almost like it's diagonal. I should go this way. In that, again, kind of to the southwest, it's stronger. But east, northeast, it weakens some. Is that the right takeaway?
Yes, yeah. In fact, this storm system may not even get to Green Bay. It's really favoring southern Wisconsin and then especially northern Illinois and then out west into parts of Iowa and Minnesota. Some light snow possible, I think, out of this up north, but nothing compared to what we're going to see down here. And timing-wise, it is primarily Saturday night, meaning by the time game time rolls around Sunday, you're just going to be worrying about those temperatures. I still think we'll see some 20s in Green Bay for the game, likely feeling like teens, but precip-wise, it really, number one, is out before game time, and number two, favoring points towards the south. Travel up there, I would say you'll probably have to do some clearing of your driveway, brushing snow off of your car in the morning, but there should be some decent dry time. But between the time you leave, say if you live in Milwaukee, to even your drive up to Green Bay with the fact that that's an afternoon game. So I think it'll be just fine when it comes to this storm system, especially up in Green Bay.
Yeah, no doubt. And then the other thing I was going to point out too, and one of the first graphics you showed is the temperature change. Totally noticeable. And it's crazy this time of year to see that orange over the state and that it's warm, but it certainly was balmy. I mean, I was out running with my dogs in the backyard and did the kind of classic cartoon slippage where my feet go in the air and I can feel myself going down. I'm like, there's nothing I can do here. But it's almost like the snow softened some.
Yeah.
Does that present us, though, any kind of concerns about freezing with the extra precipitation that's coming our way tonight?
Yeah, I do think we're in that period of time now where we may see melting during the day, and then it's just going to refreeze overnight. So as we see some of this light snow moving in, even though we're not expecting much to accumulate tonight, if you could still clear everything before you head to bed, put some salt down before you head to bed, that's your best bet. Because, I mean, also, you mentioned it, the warmer temperatures. I know we're still not at freezing, but we probably still saw a little bit of melting today. So anything that melted will refreeze if it's not treated before you head to bed tonight. So something that we're just going to have to keep an eye on, not just tonight, but through the extended forecast, especially once we get to some of those warmer days, Tuesday and Wednesday. I know additional precip is expected, but we will see messy weather, a little bit of that melting snowfall because of those warmer temperatures. But unfortunately, that night, as temperatures drop, the refreeze potential will be with us. We're not really looking at any steady warm up, unfortunately. So that is something pretty much from here on out that I think we'll have to watch. So keep that salt handy. Might need to even buy another bag. I don't know, after everything that happened last weekend and early this week, but we're not out of the woods yet with that.
I already did. I think it also speaks to the importance of local departments of public works and the job that they do within that first 24 to 48 hours, because if you can push it all away and kind of allow safe roads and clear roads, it just makes it easier down the road when you have these times of warming temperatures and melting temperatures, and it's a mess. That's really just all it is.
It's just that time of year, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, we will look forward to your forecast and, of course, the 6-day, because am I new on this? Is that a strictly broadcast exclusive?
No, I could have showed it to you, but I think I had a moment of panic, like, did I actually update it? I wasn't sure if I had updated it yet, because I do my reforecasting at like 1:30, but sometimes it's a little later. Yes, I did it, so I could have shown you that 6-day.
You know what? I like it. It's something to tease too. You can't just get everything here on Fox Local per se.
There you go.
Well, I guess you still could later. You got to watch later. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, Steph, thanks for joining us on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
No problem.
All right, so yeah, just how about that? We just survived a really busy weekend, basically an all hands on deck operation weekend. And then Steph goes and says, yeah, we got more chances of snow this weekend and into next week, and it's just really active. So it's that time of year. I guess the odds for White Christmas, White Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, appear to be pretty good here in southeast Wisconsin. So we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to go and chat with some folks in Greendale about an awesome event that is happening today. Brian Cramp was out there this morning talking about it. And let's just say it might take you back in time. So stay with us. You're watching the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Friday, December 5th. We just passed the 3 o'clock point in the afternoon. We've got a half hour here before we get you ready for the newscasts at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. So thank you for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk in what is full swing, full season, right, of the holiday season, and joining us to talk about a special event happening today. It's Colleen Fechtmeyer and Betty Furchoff from Greendale with the event that is called the Dickens of a Village. Colleen and Betty, thanks for joining us on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thank you.
So, and who's who? Who's Colleen? Who's Betty?
I'm Betty.
Okay.
And I'm Colleen.
All right, Betty, you got the get up going here. How would you explain to people? I know Brian Cramp was out there this morning, but for people that are watching us in the live desk, what is Dickens of a Village?
Dickens of a Village, it actually started 26 years ago. The venue is historic downtown Greendale. And we decided to have a Christmas event because we have 100,000 twinkling lights, and we have many musical venues that we wanted to showcase, and I can mention those too.
Well, if you want to mention them, by all means. This is Fox Local. We can do whatever we want.
Okay, well, there's string orchestras, bell choirs, there's a cappella choirs from featuring local high schools and churches. We have the Salvation Army, and they're dressed in period costumes. We also have horse-drawn wagon rides, and it's called a sleigh hay ride, which is a free ride that we offer. We have reindeers, and we have a pony that thinks he is a reindeer. And then we also do a Christmas Carol. It's a short play that is presented outside. And we have Marley and Scrooge and Tiny Tim and all of the characters, all the ghosts.
So it's the Christmas story in 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
In 12 minutes,
Yeah.
wow.
We
Okay.
do 3 performances, 6, 7, and 8 o'clock outdoor performances. So a lot of the music venues are outside. We do have an inside venue where we have a beautiful bell choir that plays twice, and some of the other music groups inside the hose tower. And we also have a hot spiced wine in several locations, tons of food, outdoor food vendors. A lot of the restaurants are doing outdoor food and beverage sales. Plus, we have 5 fabulous restaurants right in the village center.
And I was going to say, I'm reading the door behind you. Is it the Nest?
Yes.
So right, okay, so I grew up in Franklin. I'm very well familiar with the village of Greendale. And it is almost Hallmarkian in that every time of year, like you go down, that is the perfect kind of old school Main Street, so to speak. I have to imagine it only lights up this time of year, right? And how would you describe, perhaps for people that haven't been to the village, why this might be the best time of year to be there?
Well, it looks like a Norman Rockwell village.
Yeah.
We even have a statue of Norman Rockwell, and today he's painting our little village hall. The village was created to look like Williamsburg and an English garden village. So it really does have that hallmark look. And then the 100,000 lights that line the whole main street down here and our village hall is just something to see, really.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious, how did this event start? Who came up with this idea that, you know what, let's transform the village? Okay, so point straight over to Betty. Okay, well, Betty, how did you come up with this idea?
Actually, my son Ryan went to Ripon, and they did kind of like a Christmas event like this. You know, it kind of kicked out their holiday season. But we took it to a different level. We wanted it to be like a showcase, almost like putting on a play. So we put on a play, which they didn't do stuff like that. We just took it to a whole new level.
It's the Greendale way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really good time for people to kick off their holiday shopping. That was a big part of it too, to help the shops in the village and to get people to shop local and start the Christmas shopping. So at the same time you're Christmas shopping, you get this whole spirit of Christmas at the same time, which helps you just kick off your mental wellness of Christmas as well as the shopping.
Yeah, it's good thinking too. The lights are all, and it's just kind of all encompassing. Okay, so you touched on this earlier, and I don't want to brush past it. How do you squeeze the story of the Christmas Carol into 12 minutes?
Well, what it is it's actually the bedroom scene with Scrooge, and he gets visited by Marley. And then he gets visited by the 3 ghosts, Christmas past, present, and future. So it's like 12 minutes, but it's spectacular. People love it.
And it includes the happy ending.
Yes.
Scrooge
reforms. He reforms.
That's good to see. I mean, how could you not there, too?
And all the performers are local people. They've been doing it for 26 years, other than Tiny Tim. We have to have a new Tiny Tim every year. But it's just a lot of fun for them. It's a lot of fun for the people to watch. We have like bleacher seating because it is an outdoor thing. We have a standing room. Maybe people can stand as well because it's only 12 minutes. But it's just really fun.
And then, okay, for 26 years, I have to imagine that the two of you and everyone involved have seen a whole bunch of different weather. Christmas has arrived early, it appears, in terms of the weather. So you got the spiced wine, and I'm guessing hot chocolate and that sort of thing. But everyone should get the message that they probably should bundle up. This is outdoors.
Definitely. But we do have fire pits. So in different areas throughout the village, so they can warm up. And obviously going in and out of the stores, the hose tower is heated where the bells and also the string orchestra is going to be, and some of the singing groups. So there are places for people to warm up.
Our hose tower is one of our original buildings too, as part of this historic village.
Excellent. All right, well, it's happening tonight, 5 to 9. Do I have that correct?
Right, 5 to 9, except Santa is going to be here at 4 o'clock for free photo ops.
Okay.
So that's a little store called Gift of Wings, and they have Santa arriving at 3:30. At 4 o'clock, they start free photos with Santa. And like I said, there's hot chocolate, hot cider all over the village. Many things for kids as well as adults.
Letters to Santa, and actually they get a reply.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the other important thing is parking is a big problem down here, trying to get down here. So we have a free shuttle bus that is located in the lower parking lot at the high school, and it drops you right off at the Panther Pub down in the village.
Okay.
So people don't have to worry about finding parking or anything.
And the high school is only 8 blocks away, so the
Yeah, I was
shuttle
gonna say.
picks up and drops off every 10 minutes.
Well, I imagine there's going to be a bit of a traffic jam in the village of Greendale tonight with this happening. Colleen and Betty, thank you both so much for joining us right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Have a great event tonight.
You too. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So how about that? Again, like I said, I grew up in Franklin. Spent many a time in the village of Greendale. It's an awesome place. It's historic. There's tons of brick buildings, a lot of history there. Just a multitude of good restaurants, bars, local shops that you can go to. So, of course, this time of year, they're going to welcome your business no matter what. But just really kind of transforming that village into the Dickens novel era of A Christmas Carol. Again, you heard it, 12-minute performances of A Christmas Carol at the top of the hour at 6, 7, and 8. Santa will be there for photo opportunities as soon as 4. They've got a reindeer, I should say, magical hay rides, and a bunch of in-store promotions there. So if you're looking for something to do, again, outdoor event. So you're going to have to bundle up, but hey, it's the Christmas season. It always is kind of cold and windy and snowy this time of year. At least we hope it is, right? So that's happening tonight in Greendale from 5 to 9. As we mentioned, Brian Cramp was out there this morning talking with them about this event for the Wake Up audience. So if you missed anything from that, you can just head to our website, fox6now.com. You might also be able to navigate elsewhere here within the Fox Local app to see his hits this morning with Fox 6 Wake Up. We're going to step away for a quick break. When we return, a look at what else is happening today in Wisconsin, coming up right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
There we are. Had to hit the open correctly. All right, Sam Kramer back with you here on hour 3 of the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is 3:15 on Friday, December 5th. We are getting you ready for the weekend. Final 15 minutes here of the Wisconsin Live Desk as we turn around. We've covered the weather. We've covered sports. We've covered the Dickens of a Village that's happening in Greendale. I want to get to some news now out of Madison. And Governor Tony Evers announced a series of vetoes. He took action on 9 bills, and one of them that we've been paying attention to, I should say Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson has been paying attention to, is Assembly Bill 366. And as I say that, I understand that, okay, many of us probably have no idea what that number, what it actually does. This bill, it pertains to emotional support animals in Wisconsin. It would have allowed housing providers to request documentation of a prescription or a letter from a licensed health professional in order for that person to keep an emotional support animal. It creates new forfeitures or penalties for people and licensed health professionals related to those prescriptions or letters. And it changes the definition of service animal in law. It also would create penalties for intentionally misrepresenting possession of a service animal in public places. If you haven't seen that story, Brian explores perhaps the liberties people are taking in labeling certain animals as emotional support animals. I think if you've gone to a store, if you've traveled, you've perhaps seen people and maybe had that question, like, are you sure like this dog isn't really behaving the way an emotional support animal should behave? It just is happening so frequently these days, and he found some providers that are just kind of willy-nilly providing people with the documentation that they need. That being said, the governor today announced and declared his veto on this bill with a letter to the Assembly. We have portions of that here for you now. He says, this first part of the bill, again, goes into what this bill was. Again, allowing housing providers to request documentation of a prescription or a letter, so that you can't just say that you have this. You have to provide, documentation, and thus kind of the reasoning for why you have an emotional support animal. B, creates new forfeitures for individuals and licensed health professionals related to those prescriptions or letters for emotional support animals. Continues, changing the definition of a service animal within public accommodation laws. Creates penalties for intentionally misrepresenting possession of a service animal in public places of accommodation or amusement. It also would have required the Department of Workforce Development to develop and distribute signage and informational materials for businesses that would be made in consultation with an outside animal service organization. That is, in a way, getting everybody on the same page about what is permissible, what is not permissible for people that have emotional support animals. The governor continues, saying, quote, while I share the goal of preventing fraudulent representation of emotional support and service animals, I am vetoing this bill in its entirety because I object to the creation of unnecessary barriers for individuals with legitimate disability-related needs. Governor continues, I also object to creating arbitrary barriers to people with disabilities from getting the support and care they need, and I similarly oppose efforts that could jeopardize safe and reliable housing for individuals who rely on emotional support animals for safety, well-being, and stability. It says, finally, legislation affecting the rights and protections of Wisconsinites with disabilities should be developed in consultation and collaboration with people with disabilities, with disability advocates, housing stakeholders, service animal training organizations, and the departments. This bill was not meaningfully developed through this collaborative process. Therefore, I must veto this bill. So it's an interesting message there because as I reread it again, kind of between the lines, it seems that he doesn't disagree with the fact that people are perhaps taking advantage of the current laws and getting the prescriptions and documentation they need to classify certain animals as emotional support animals and service animals. But at the same time, as this bill, Assembly Bill 366, is written, he says it creates these unnecessary barriers for people who are living with disabilities and actually have legitimate reasons to have these emotional support animals. So, again, his message to the legislature is that you should have consulted organizations that are advocates for people with disabilities should have worked directly with people that have disabilities and have service animals for this very reason, as well as people that work in housing, service animal training organizations, Department of Workforce Development. So again, it's a full veto, but based on some of the language there he has submitted in this veto letter that is dispatched to the members of the Assembly, he is saying that it was not good enough. And again, that follows a really interesting investigation by Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson. You could pretty much cut, copy, and paste that for any story he does. He tackles really interesting stories, really interesting issues, this being one of them. And a story he did a long time ago, at least first. The year escapes me right now as I'm looking off the top of my head, but he wanted to stretch the barrier of just how far you could go in terms of what animals you can get for service animals, what you have to show, what you don't have to show, whether you have to meet with a provider or not. And so it's a really interesting issue. Sounds like one that probably isn't going away, though this bill is vetoed for now. So we'll see what happens on that. But again, breaking news per se out of the state capitol, and that's the governor has taken issue on a series of bills. I'm going to just stay with me right here. I'm going to click back into that email from his press office to see what other bills he took action on. So 9 total bills, and he vetoed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of them. Okay, so that one is probably the most notable. Let's take a look here. There's another that he vetoed, a Senate bill that would have required the state superintendent to approve a teacher preparation program that requires students to complete student teaching for full days of a full summer session as an alternative to a full school year semester. We know he's really interested in education, having worked previously as the state superintendent. So yeah, number of interesting bills that will not pass with the governor's veto today. All right, we're going to take a step aside for one last quick break. When we return, we'll get you kind of all caught up on the matters of the day here in Milwaukee and Southeast Wisconsin and get you ready for the weekend right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
All right, we've made it almost to the end of hour 3 here on the Wisconsin Live Desk on Friday, December 5th. I'm Sam Kramer. Thank you so much for hanging with us here on our streaming app, or streaming platform, Fox Local. One more time, that is Fox Local. here. Again, just a really awesome tool that we are, I think, just kind of scratching the surface on what we can do here. As so many of you are now engaging our content here streaming instead of the old-fashioned way on your television set. So, a number of things that we are looking forward to this weekend. We talked about the Dickens of a Village that is happening in downtown Greendale tonight from 5 until 9. Stephanie Barrichello covered the weather aspect as we let's take a live look outside. That's downtown Milwaukee. You can see the clouds. There's a chance for some flurries, some kind of freezing drizzle, a little of this, a little of that, because why not, right? It's December in southeast Wisconsin. And actually kind of a nice shot that some of these buildings are snow-covered, streets for the most part, pretty clean. Yeah, looking out toward the lake, still looks to be in good shape. Let's take a look over at American Family Field. Snow-covered roof. You know, if you're going to be inside, maybe playing X-Golf, heading to the clubhouse sale that's happening in the visitors clubhouse. You're all good there. If you missed the details for that, that is happening all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, from 8 until 6 in the visitors clubhouse. You can get up to 80% off of a lot of things. We're talking shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, hats, jackets, everything in between, little trinkets, that sort of thing. Also can get game use items. I believe that means jerseys, perhaps some batting gloves, that sort of thing. So again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and reminder, as with everything at American Family Field, it is cashless. You do not, though, have to pay for parking. Let's take a look over at Lambeau Field. It is snowy. It is cold. It is exactly the type of game Lambeau Field was made for. They are getting Lambeau ready to host the NFC best Chicago Bears. And as I say that, I roll my eyes. I'm not going to show you, but just know that I am. Because it's true. The Chicago Bears, the Packers' arch nemesis, most probably despised rival, who have just been a force to reckon with so far this NFL season. They are coming to Lambeau Field, and Fox flexed the game time of that game. It was supposed to be at noon. They realized both teams are playing so well, they said, nope, it's not going to be at noon anymore. So here is your rundown on Sunday. Fox NFL kickoff is at 10 a.m., then 11. It's Fox NFL Sunday. That's kind of the flagship crew. Terry Bradshaw, Michael Strahan, Howie Long, Kurt Menefee, and Rob Gronkowski are on that one. Imagine we'll hear from Tom Brady. He is going to be at Lambeau Field on the call for that game with Kevin Burkhardt, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. Again, that's kind of their A crew. It is America's Game of the Week. But first at noon, Cincinnati Bengals head to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. That's actually be a pretty good game. Has nothing to do with the Packers, their playoff hopes, what have you. But hey, if you want football all day, there you go. Then it's at 3:25. The Packers host the Bears at Lambeau Field. The winner of this game takes over the lead, the top spot in the NFC North Division, and the lead in the NFC Conference, which, as it stands now, could be an important first-round bye to get in terms of playoff positioning. So once that game wraps up around 6:30, we'll have a special edition of Fox 6 News after the game. Ted, Mary, Tim, Lily, Brandon. It's going to be all hands on deck for that. Then we have the normal slate of newscasts at 9 and 10. And right after, as happens every Sunday night, it's the Fox 6 Sports Blitz when Tim, Lily, and Brandon can kind of unload all of their notes, all of their takeaways, their impressions, the highlights, the lowlights. What does it mean moving forward of hopefully, it's me knocking on wood, hopefully, a Packers win, but we'll see what happens there. So, again, that is Sunday. So much to look forward to this weekend. Again, inching a little bit closer every single time now to Christmas. And if you got time in the schedule, not sure what to do tonight, head down to Greendale. They're going to have a great time with the Village of Dickens, or Dickens of a Village, I should say. So thank you so much. We're going to leave you with a live shot again over of American Family Field. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.